Like he used to
They're
say
talking about iDubbbz.
Yeah, and he apologized for like all of it, saying that he was just cruel and spreading hate and stuff like that, and it's got people mixed.
What a pussy, so I think. I'll never apologise for anything we ever do. And if I do ever apologise, just know that I've been taken and it's not me.
Okay. So I assume we're here. We're live. We're welcome.
I wouldn't say I don't. Well,
we're alive in real life.
that is true. We are actually alive. Thank God. I mean, yesterday was a close call, frankly.
Oui, mama. What do you mean a close call?
You know, the missile.
Oh.
What?
Yeah, the missile that I fired.
You not do that, please.
What?
You at least wait until like the season 4 coming out to like that.
Oh.
Waited so long.
Can we at least, yeah, so at least get season 4, then we can blow up England.
Nuclear holocaust.
Yeah, that's fine after that. Fine. Yeah. Until then, oh my God, it's this again. Oh my God.
Guess who's back? This series.
Yeah, this series. I was about to say, guess who's back? The flamethrower, but you know.
Yeah, I mean, it does come back pretty often, but only as often as the other guns. We've never really talked about a gun singular thing.
What?
I guess your spotlights.
Yeah, the Spotlight's my favourite series, as you can tell. I mean, come on, that was brilliant.
Yeah, we're here, and we've got Tom here. We'll see. See how much he does.
See how much he does.
But yeah, we're going to be dissecting, analysing, and shitting on the driller primaries.
Okay, hold on. I mean, you said shitting on, and there's going to be some of that, but that's not a general term. There will be no shitting on the sludge pump. That's not true, actually. I'm going to shit on the sludge pump a little bit. Actually. Well, apparently, from my understanding, you two have already done this.
We basically we talked about before it, like while I was waiting for you to join the call. We were like, "Oh, here, Tom, this is what we're talking about," and then we started talking about it.
Yeah,
and so
in that much detail, though.
Yeah, and it was more. It was like parts
establishing talking points,
which isn't quite relevant for now.
Cryo and Sparta.
Mostly cryo, to be honest.
Yeah. But for now, we're doing the flamethrower, and we're doing the tier 1 flamethrower mods.
Well, yeah, that's usually where we start. I mean, let's start tier 4, actually. That makes more sense for me.
Have you shown the scaling system for anyone that's jumping on the series?
No, I haven't.
All right, because
I won't.
Technically, you know, each individual character you could kind of just watch on its own, really. So we'll present them in that way.
We rate modifications and overclocks on a scale of 1 to 5. 1 being unusable, 2 being suboptimal, 3 being balanced, 4 being optimal, and 5 being too strong. I'll be satisfied with this rating system. Still,
I think it's held up so
I haven't
far.
felt any need to change it personally. So yeah.
So yeah.
Also, I would apologise for headphone listeners for what I just did, but then I realised I said I'm never going to apologise for anything. So fuck you. Fuck you.
All right, works. Tier 1. You got ammo.
It's not ammo, it's magazine size, which does include max ammo. We got high capacity tanks, plus 25 tank, or plus 5 meter flame reach. I know where my heart lies.
I think it's
in a pit at the bottom of the ocean. No, I mean in flame reach.
The balanced overclocks, they kind of just copied those two, right?
That's not a problem with me.
No. No. I would say they're 3-3. Because I think that would be fair. However, I think ammo capacity is better than range.
Oh, shit, I disagree. I guess it's 3-3 then. I guess
Do you think it's the other way around?
I think in this case it is, right? Even in the cases of like things that reduce magazine size, does this one do that? Yeah, both of these do, but you know, flame reach. This also reduces flame reach, so both are valid, right? And sticky feel benefits a lot from flame reach too. So I think they're very equal. In fact, in most cases, I would prefer to take flame reach in this tier, mainly because of the overclock that I use most often, which is this one. Actually, it's not the one I use most often. I'm just saying my personal preference is this, and I do think it is very good, and I think it's at least equal to the number of use cases for this.
Yeah, so I guess 3-3.
Thomas. All right, 3-3.
I doubt Thomas has a nuanced opinions on the tier 1 flamethrower mod.
I doubt that's also going to be too controversial either. I think that's fine. Tier 2, on the other hand, might be. Only because... Okay, so we got damage, +4 damage, or +10 heat, or +3 seconds sticky flame duration.
This is going to be something with the flamethrower. In the strength of the mods is ultimately dependent on the strength of the builds as a whole they work towards. And I think Sticky Flames build is strong, so I think that Sticky Flames mod is strong. The flame heat build is
incredible.
Strong. And this is basically the only component to that, this singular
Double
mod.
heat.
So,
what's that and just ammo? That's how you do it.
Yeah, is that one.
Or fear.
Yeah. So that's that one, and that's strong and good. So it comes down to whether or not you think pure direct damage is strong on the flamethrower, which on Barrel Vision, I think we agree it kind of ain't. It's not the best thing in the world to be picking.
This is what I was going to say. This is the worst choice, I think, out of the three. Only because it's really only for Face Melter, and we don't really think Face Melter's all that good anyway. So
it is a good amount. It is a good amount of damage, though.
I don't know. I'm not sure about that, mate. I'm not sure.
It's the only damage mod. Obviously, you got the overclock, but I don't know. I think it's got to make up for the lack of other damage.
But then again, Tyler, Sticky Flames is mostly stored. That's mostly just for one overclock as well. Mostly, that's the thing.
There's two. Plus, you can easily use the Sticky Flames with any build.
I know you can.
3 is quite a lot. Well, though.
3 seconds.
Sticky flame duration.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so
the heat one is double, and yet
it is.
The damage one is not much in comparison.
I mean, it's a 40%, but that's only
because those two ones are actually very important for each different build.
Yes,
and damage just isn't viable for any good build.
No,
there could be an argument that even with with Face Melter, does it affect Sticky Flames?
Does Face Melter affect Sticky Flames?
I don't think it does.
No, but it fucking well should.
Operational range, decreased tank capacity.
Face Melter adds as much damage as that mod does.
Yeah,
which is slightly interesting.
Sticky Fuel adds 5 seconds comparatively.
Yeah.
So Face Melter is already failing.
Face Melter, right? With the greater damage is +4, increased flow rate +30. They're modifiers.
No, what? Where are you getting 30 from?
They're just fuel flow rate +30% for Face Melter.
Plus 1.8 flow rate.
Bear in mind, Tom's definitely looking at the game.
Oh, right, yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, sorry. Well, that's actually very, very fair.
And it's true. It says +30% up there.
Yeah, I know. When you click it, I know. Oh, sorry. I've been using Carl more than the game. I've been using.
Yeah. But yeah, no. So it does increase your overall damage output because it adds damage and it adds how quickly you deal with it. I think Face Melter is probably not worth it if you don't pick the more damage, right? Because
and this isn't worth it unless you pick Face Melter.
If you just pick the tier 2 and tier 3 mod, you'll have Face Melter.
But yeah, I mean that too really.
It is exactly the same.
Without the downsides being pretty fucking substantial.
And so you could then pick a clean overclock, and then you would have a clean Face Melter essentially. That's a weird build, but like I don't know. Yeah, it's a weird mod because it's not inherently weak. Like imagine the fact that you get as much from that as you do a unstable overclock is pretty telling. It's just build of direct damage with the flamethrower isn't the best thing in the world. It's not really something you should be going for. So I think 2-4-4 really.
2-4-4. Why are we giving those 4s? Why would we do that?
They're strong, dude.
One's like, really good, and the sticky flame one is really good.
Yeah, like sticky.
They're basic, but they're very needed.
Yeah,
and
like,
they're a large proportion increase.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could argue 3-3 because it's like I don't know, just
average
how it is.
What's 3?
Yeah, like I don't know. I think they're strong. They're like they're picks. They're like go-to picks, like often. Like even if you're using a flame build or a sticky flame build, you could use the other one reasonably, right?
Yeah,
that would be fine.
Yeah.
If you were using a sticky flame or a flame build, you would not use
mod 3. Damage. Discussion done. I decided.
What did you decide?
I was right.
Okay.
2-4-4.
You know what's weird? I feel like sticky fuel is overrated, but like sticky flames without sticky fuel is kind of underrated. So it's a bit weird. Speaking of sticky, tier 3. Oh yeah, flow rate, baby. Plus 1.8 flow rate. Increases sticky flame slowdown from 10% to 55%. That's quite a lot. And also plus 75 max fuel. Who the fuck is picking flow rate?
No, I think flow rate holds up more than damage because you could use flow rate on a fire build.
Yeah, increases heat application, doesn't it?
Yeah. You would still likely use ammo. Like I think ammo is definitely a 4.
For ammo efficiency, don't you?
Yeah.
So then it'd be better to pick more ammo as well. So then basically you just got shit tons.
Thing is, sticky flame slowdown is essential for certain builds.
Sticky flames, obviously.
Yeah, I think it's.
The sticky flame slowdown is probably a 4.
Yeah, I think it might be
because it's just so necessary and so good, but it's not broken.
Did you just say 3-4-3? Did you?
Oh, 3-4-4.
Okay.
I think the flow rate is better than the damage, but the other two are still much more preferable.
Okay, I can agree with that.
I don't know if the ammo is 4 because it's not that much ammo increase. Ammo is always good, but it's not 75? That much.
You start with 300.
I feel like if you needed both, it would be that way. But I don't think you need.
I've got an overclock on that increases ammo as well.
I don't think you need both ammo mods necessarily, and I would maybe say they're 4s if you needed both all the time, but you don't. As in, one of them is always a good idea, but I wouldn't call either of them essential. But the thing is, I feel like you should probably always have one of them at least. That's the thing. So maybe it is a 4. The ammo.
How good it. Depending on its rating is depending on how necessary the next one is.
I mean, tier 3 is the one where I always pick ammo.
Yeah.
I mean, I think tier 4 would be a better option to pick for the ammo.
I disagree. That's the thing. 3.
I pick both ammo whenever I do it, so I think I probably should shut up.
I've got both ammo on right now. But surely, so if you needed to pick at least one ammo, for sticky flame, and you had a sticky flame build, would you be picking one ammo though? Because there's sticky flame options in both.
Flame, but you want to have ammo. It then comes down to: do you want to slow down, or do you want your flames to be there for longer? So how long is the tier 4 sticky flame duration?
That's 3 seconds.
Another 3 seconds. So if you want hella duration with some ammo, you would pick that. If you want slow down with some duration, you would pick tier 4.
Slow down would be better because you're going to be using sticky fuel, the overclock, which plus is 6. So the extra 3 isn't going to be as valuable as the as slowing them down.
Well, the sticky fuel doesn't add slowdown, which I thought it did, but given that it doesn't, you definitely need the
slowdown one. You don't need that extra 3 because you've already picked the sticky flames one in tier 3.
All right, hold on. So
+6.
Tier
Probably
3.
3, 4, 3 then.
Yeah, that's what I was. Yeah, I think so. I think for this one, actually, that means it must be for both. I don't see the ammo mods being different. That's the thing. So we need to be sure about that. I feel like they're both the same, personally.
I think the ammo one's better for tier 4 because fear isn't that needed.
Yeah, that's why I disagree though. That's why I
and the
that's
sticky flame
the one that I
duration
use.
isn't that needed. So
tier 4,
use fear.
Fear is good in tier 4. Fear is always good. It's okay, actually. It's okay. This might be a 3-3-4.
Yeah, I think that's pretty right.
It's the one that I would use sometimes on certain heat builds. If I have like more ammo, I might take fear instead, because I just feel like I don't want to just be going all ammo. I shouldn't need to use every ammo mod, you know?
You don't need to, but why wouldn't you?
Because fear's not bad. That's why.
You just hate being ammo efficient, right? You just fucking can't stand having as much ammo as you want. Like I don't know. It's just, why wouldn't you pick both ammo? Is what I don't get. Like if you don't need anything else, why bother? You're actively just turning down free existing, like free fun, for an occasional fear effect, which just doesn't really do anything other than spreads them out further, so it's harder to set them all on fire. Like hit them all at the same time.
No. You should probably use it.
No.
I did say it should be 3-3-4, so
yeah, and then you followed it up with, I don't know why you'd take both ammo, when I don't know why you wouldn't take both.
I mean,
ammo.
I didn't say that. I said I don't always want to be taking every ammo mod all the time. It's just a bit sad. It's just all the time, even though I do it most of the time.
It's the kind of gun the flamethrower is.
Yeah, the Riz. Risen. Can we agree on that then?
Sure.
3-3-4. What?
Go for it. Sure. Whatever.
Whatever, bro. Tier 5. Uh-oh, it's tier 5. Uh-oh, it's heat radiance. Compared with targets explode. Oh, shit. Oh, dear.
Well,
I use heat radiance.
Well, not everything, because you probably should. I mean, heat radiance, and this applies to the other radiance, is just kind of too strong. Like, the effect is so strong. Like,
5-2.
Yeah, I think I'd agree with that.
I think maybe even less than 2.
It's
not that bad. Like, I mean,
it actually makes
bad. I think it's just because
it's not that they just explode, though, is it? It's that they die from direct damage.
Yeah, that is the problem with it. Right.
The whole thing of the flamethrower is that you don't use the fucking direct damage. You use sticky, which kills them with the fire, or use heat that just kills them by burning over time. The only time is with face melter, because it increases direct damage, but it's not even that much, and it's not like when you use face melter, it suddenly gets rid of the burning effect. You could be...
Sometimes they accidentally die from the fire before you actually kill them direct damage. It's really only good against tiny enemies, because they die in one hit
it's not
anyway.
even a guaranteed, is it?
No!
It's a 50% chance. So, like, it's such a low thing of it even actually working just through the way that burning works. And then when it does actually you kill something with the direct damage, it's not even guaranteed.
Well, the problem, I think, there's like multiple ways you can make it better as well. You could, like, first of all, the chance could be it could be guaranteed. It could just be any direct damage
on one build.
You know,
it's only even usable on one build, and on that one build, it's shit still.
Yeah, if it was
what's more of a one than something that other than
I might agree with you. No, I'm just talking about ways it could be better. Like if it was like any form of direct damage, then suddenly Sabasa gets like a lot of it gets a lot better if it's just any kind of direct damage while they're on fire. But it's literally just the flamethrower's direct damage. So it's just, oh god, it might. The problem is it does suit face melter.
Tier 5 modifiers.
It's not as in you kind of should take it with face melter, but even then,
face melter sucks.
Well,
So it only works on one build that isn't that good, and it doesn't work well with that one build that isn't that good.
I think I'm still going to stick with 2 because it's not, it's not a good thing anyway. So Tyler,
I think it's once again it is the direct damage build on the flamethrower being bad and therefore affecting the mod choice. Like if it was better, it wouldn't be like. Which I don't know whose fault it is then, though, right? Like if it's all the fault of the build, then surely the mod should be held accountable. But I think it kind of just comes down to base melter. But we'll get to that. But yeah, no, I think 5-2 adds up.
well, is this actually a 5? It's just really convenient. It's like I don't know how insane it actually is, especially considering it's more like it's just very specifically close range, and I think it's actually worse than the cryo cannon one in that sense. In that the cryo cannon is very much so helpful at close range, but this isn't going to kill things necessarily at close range. It would just, I guess, it kind of keeps you safe while you're firing from like swarmers creeping up on you, and it does bolster your overall heat a lot if you're like close to the target you're trying to set on fire. But it's not the most insane thing in the world, which is why I might suggest 4-1 because I feel like 4-2 is almost too close, but I don't know if this is a 5 necessarily.
No, I think it is. Radiance's as a whole is incredibly strong. Incredibly strong. Like, yeah, it's slightly worse than the cryo cannon, but it's still as strong. It's still a guaranteed pick.
But that's more so optimal. I don't consider it too strong. I just consider it the most frequent. Only like it's really the only good pick. That doesn't actually mean too strong. In this case, it's actually more so the other mods causing the problem. More so, I think.
I guess.
I
mean, I'd be down for a 5-1.
4-1 then. I'm not doing.
Oh.
I feel like that's too far apart.
I think that one is probably too strong, and I think the exploding is too weak.
Yeah, I agree with that. I just don't think this is too strong. I just don't think heat radiance is too strong. It definitely seems too strong in comparison, right? But doesn't mean it is actually too strong. Oh no, I'm just really not actually feeling a 5.
Fine.
It feels too strong in comparison.
So
I don't think it's too strong at all. It's probably like a 4.5.
Oh, okay. Well, it's okay. So is 4-1? Is that acceptable?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's probably a good way to do it. 4-1. Right. Overclocks. Our favourite things in the world are overclocks, such as lighter tanks, which is just plus 75 max fuel, which is the same as the mods. Once again, what's going on here? There's something going on here. It's just
a Gen 1 primary, Harry. This is what goes on. It's fucking like not in any way close to Gen 3 weapons in Intrigue. Like the overclocks are rudimentary.
Ruder. Yeah. Anyway, just plus 75 max fuel. This is just a good overclock.
What? Right. Look. Can you just look at the other one? The
sticky additive.
No, the other one. Yeah. I think because of that.
Look at it in comparison to it.
Like,
it adds the same max fuel as the balanced one, but but then it doesn't have the downside, and it doesn't have the other positive of minus 25 fuel.
Technically, unless this is counting in that already, compact feed valves does add more ammo.
Yeah, but only 25, and it has multiple like downsides. It's
still 100.
Yeah, that's 100 in comparison to 75.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any world where no, these two are equal. Lighter tanks and compact feed valves are equal, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You know, it's plus 20. It's not a huge amount of extra ammo in the form of magazine size.
25 extra is minimal, and the magazine size is quite good. Well, I think compact. Yeah, they're about equal actually, because the flame reach is kind of annoying. The reload time is kind of annoying.
But really not though. I mean, that's like
because it's reload time in comparison to extra ammo, which is always a debate, isn't it?
Yeah, but Tyler,
like,
even if
a clip or longer reload time,
even if the penalties is kind of minimal, it's still only 25 more, but it also has downside. That's why I think they're equal, right? I think that's absolutely fair.
Roundabouts equal, but I still would. I would much rather pick compact feed valves.
Would I? And I think Harry, you would too, right?
No.
Because look at the reload time is very small, of a minus, it's 0.2 seconds.
Yeah. Plus, thanks to the tank size, you're not going to reload in any time that would matter.
And -2 flame reach. That's it.
Yeah.
-2 is nothing in flame reach.
Yeah, and you could either compensate with range in tier 1 or double down on tank size in tier 1, and either way it really bolsters compact feed valves. However, if you pick mag size in tier 1, then you essentially get the free more ammo.
Anyway, so maybe I should put it this way: what would you give compact feed valves as a rating?
Thing is, I think their compact feed valves is the best thing on the flamethrower straight out the gate, but I also think it's 3.
Yeah, and they are both free. Like this is a clean that you cannot not give a free, right? Yeah. So that's why. So I think maybe they're not perfectly equal. I mean, this might still be slightly better to most people, but they can still both be frees. So, but just okay. Before I put the ratings in, though, I should probably do the other clean, which is sticky additive, which is obviously it's a clean, but this is one of those ones that is so. I just get the impression that it's so not used.
It's sticky flame duration +1. That's shit. That's pointless.
Yeah, and +1 damage. It's if you're going to use sticky flames, you use sticky flames, right? You don't stick around and
then 1 extra damage. Like the buffs are literally fucking nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is for nerds.
A shit about +1 sticky flame duration and +1 damage. So meaningless.
This is so. Are we saying this is one of those cleans that dips a little bit, right? This is a 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually 100% fair. I would never that, but yeah, absolutely. So light tanks gets a 3, sticky gets a 2, compact feed also gets a 3, which is kind of weird considering it might be the best thing. Field stream diffuser +5 meters flame reach, but at a cost of flow rate. This is one where you actually do. I think you fill both of these, in my opinion. You definitely. I mean,
5 is actually quite a lot. And, if you use that with the tier 1 mod as well, like that is actually really, really
weirdly long,
powerful.
Weirdly long.
I mean, it's like twice, isn't it? Like double range.
Overall, you start at 10, and if you add this and the mod, you get +10, so you're up to 20. Yeah. So
you can then double your range, and double range is fucking wild. Like you can be hitting stuff with actual really fucking far away, and the negative isn't really that much either.
Yeah, I mean
20% fuel rate. If you want, you can then just put the mod and negate that.
Well, I wouldn't not take ammo because we're not adding ammo. This is kind of the problem.
Yeah,
flamethrower.
That's my issue with this, is that as much as it feels good, genuinely, if you don't add ammo to the flamethrower, like more ammo, then it disappears. And it's not like the fat boy in that it disappears so quickly, but you get a lot from it. It just feels like you didn't get enough out of the gun and you're out of ammo. And I noticed that quite a lot when I use this. And plus if you double down with the range, then your max size is at 50 as well, so you're reloading constantly, and that's quite annoying as well. You've got fuck all ammo, you're reloading constantly, and while you do have a lot of range, I'm not sure if it's worth it. So I think
priority for flame it is close range a lot of the time.
Yeah,
that's when it's more optimal.
I mean, unless you take field stream diffuser.
Heat radiance is the thing. You kind of want them to be close.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's
but it is viable.
So hold on. I want to point out the stuff that you're saying right now. I do agree with, but that makes it sound like the ammo overclock should be 4s
That's exactly what I'm thinking, because I don't think this is a 2, but this is definitely not the same 3 as the ammo. I think they are 4s, but it's not in any way, shape, or form.
Okay, hold on. So we're gonna change at least one of them. So do we think both ammo overclocks are 4s?
Yeah,
both of them. All right. So I can go with that. Just want to check. That's fine. So we bring these 2 up to 4, and Field Stream Diffuser gets a 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I like Field Stream Diffuser quite a bit. I don't know. It's nice.
Actually,
it's like an interesting another pillar that you know, just it's not like part of the weapon's like damage as such as much as like heat, sticky flames, and damage are. But it's another direction you can take it. I appreciate it, and it's not as like it's also worth specking into sometimes.
Well, it's not really a thing on its own though, is it?
It does actually help with, because like if you've got more range, you can then do more damage in a line.
Yeah,
and you can because Macteras are vulnerable against fire.
Yeah, it's good against Mactera too. Yeah,
and then now you're not as vulnerable to Macteras. In fact, you're actually really good against them because now you're doing fire at range. And so one of the main issues is negated.
Yeah, it is just the issue in that you don't have much more ammo.
Yeah,
you would definitely need to pick both ammo mods for this build.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I mean, I think that's absolutely fair, because like you wouldn't take anything for sticky flames with Field Stream Diffuser. That doesn't make sense, and fear doesn't make sense either because you're probably keeping more of a distance. So the only one that makes sense is flow rate, but even then, is that worth ammo? So it makes perfect sense that both ammo mods would be worth taking anyway. You're not sacrificing much, to be fair. What I'm saying.
Then at that point, you're going to be doing a fire build or like a damage build. Like you would pick the fire or damage mod.
Be a 3 because it has purpose. It's like it can't be a 2. You can't put it in a 2 because it's just actually good.
Yeah, but I don't think it's a go-to pick. It has issues.
That's fine. I think 3 is the perfect number. Fine. You got it.
Yeah.
What isn't so perfect is these 2 assholes.
Face melter we basically discussed.
I know, but I want to talk about face melter though because I know that people like it a lot. Right? This is quite popular. I mean, is that still true? Do you think?
But the thing is, I think face melter tricks people into thinking it's doing more than it does, because I have used it a little bit recently. Not recently, but like you do kill things right quick. Right? We're talking like a minigun that pierces. Right? Like things pop. Small things.
Those sounds sound very, from your end, Tyler, sound very odd. Those background noises.
Yeah. But like like grunt hordes never stood a chance to begin with, and even though generally that's still the case with the flamethrower, that you use fire or sticky flames and it gets the job done essentially the same. But face melter lets you do it hands on, and obviously does enable the explode one a little bit more. So it does feel good to use. But
no,
it just ain't good.
No, it doesn't. I don't find it feels good at all. I feel so much worse when using face melter. I hate it. I hate using.
You're looking at the big picture at that point, though, Harry. You're not really like.
I am the big picture. I am the big...
Yeah, like literally, if you just think about, I'm killing these bugs so quickly, and the smaller ones, if it's like a grunt swarm, that's nice. Face up against a Praetorian, and you start sobbing.
I don't find it satisfying killing grunts without them actually being set on fire, which is usually the case.
I tend to get set on fire at the end.
Not for long enough. And
face melter is 2.
Yeah, it is. But face melter, this is one I really have been using a lot recently, trying to understand it, and I don't like it, and I don't think it's good. I think people who defend it are just really confused. I think
I said
they're misled.
Mod, if you want. You just use this tier 2 and tier 3 mod, and you have face melter.
Genuinely,
but that's not good on its own. You're supposed to combine the 2. That's the thing.
I think,
but the thing is with the downside is huge. As in tanks capacity is such a fucking awful thing to not have.
It's not the craziest downsides in the world, actually, but you do feel them.
You don't get much for a big loss.
Yeah. I think face melter should honestly do like the opposite of that shit though. I think first of all double its damage, so like it's actually significant. like against bigger targets, because it's essentially instantaneous on the small ones anyway. But also, I think they should add tank size to it, and cost normal like fuel. Because to be honest, if it was a sustained damage, like it essentially turns it into a minigun where you could like hold down fire for like super long and like a really sustained amount of time, it would be probably all right, to be honest with you. But it's like a burst sustained fire, and it's dumb as hell. It's just so stupid. Such a stupid fucking thing.
Yeah, I would love it if it was like even shorter range.
Big targets, do you? And
no, God, no.
And face melter doesn't really allow for that. Truly,
yeah. The face melter is kind of like pretending that it does that, but it doesn't, does it?
No.
So now you're just building it for something that it's never going to be good at.
Like, against bigger stuff, against like bigger priority, like, Praetorians, it's not bad against, but against like bigger priority stuff like wardens or oppressors, you're going to need something else to finish them off pretty like most of the time. Yeah. And it's still like fire damage, so it's still not actually great against dreadnoughts, which you would think it might help against. I
mean, it's the best thing with the flamethrower against them.
God, you just got so much louder. What the fuck?
Like it's if you're gonna run the flamethrower, you probably would run face melter. But that's just a testament to how bad it is against dreadnoughts.
A testicle. Testistics.
Jonah just kind of has a weakness against dreadnoughts in general.
Yeah, or big targets generally.
Yeah, it's just primaries aren't suited for that. You can kind of build them, but not properly.
I mean, I would call the sludge pump efficient against everything other than oppressors. It's not quick though, but you can use a very nice amount of ammo to take down. Like a Praetorian, you can kill in like a couple normal shots if you wait them out. Anyway, sticky fuel. This is the one where we have to maybe set feelings aside.
Yeah, set aside the bias. It's probably a 4, and by probably a 4, I mean almost definitely a 4, maybe even a 5. I don't see it.
Oh, I'm not setting aside a bias that much, Tyler. I'm not saying.
Literally, whenever anyone talks about the flamethrower, they talk about sticky fuel.
Yeah, I mean those people should be shot though. So.
Yeah.
What the hell are you doing?
Sticky fuel's obviously good, but it's just not. He's downstairs. He was getting some water. Pretty sure that's what it sounded like.
Yeah. Whatever. Anyway, sticky fuel is like got like more downsides than it says basically, because you have to make this build a build. You have to use all the mods that help sticky flames, pretty much, except maybe this one. But you need this, so you're sacrificing even more ammo than you could have, and it already has an ammo penalty.
In a way, your 2, 3, and 4 mods.
Yeah, well, 2 is like fair though, right? Because that's what this is for. You wouldn't need the other 2 in this build. You don't.
Because slowdown is kind of necessary.
Slowdown is necessary.
You might be able to get away with not using. You don't need that much more sticky duration.
No, not necessarily.
You probably should anyway, really.
Yep, probably should though.
That's the thing.
Yeah. Sticky fuel was the one where you can get like.
Yeah. It really just makes you go into that build hard, and you got very little ammo and very little tank size.
It's restrictive in how you have to build it, and it's restrictive playstyle anyway.
Generally speaking, people, and I can't put myself in their shoes because I can't stand using it, but it is worth it. You get, if anything, more value out of your shots than the ammo you lose. Essentially.
Yeah.
If you want to get the most damage and killing potential out of your flamethrower, sticky flames. That's how it is, right? Even without ammo, it does that. It's kind of weird.
Can you make a sticky flame build though without using sticky fuel?
Yeah, you can. You use sticky additive, and it's like you have lots more ammo than you would otherwise. Is the idea?
Yeah. Because the mods do increase it a lot anyway. Like, you can get it to then, what's that? 8.
Yeah, but that build is that build is more so you just yeah. But the thing with that build, if you try to not use sticky fuel, you're more so just gonna be using the sticky flames as your source of heat rather than using them as like walls of damage that you can lead enemies into. Because that's the point in sticky fuel; it becomes walls of fire. We don't actually get that without sticky fuel, really. If you don't use sticky fuel, it's more just another way to deal heat. Sticky fuel, part of it is the damage that it adds to the sticky flames. A big point of it. So I would almost call it like it's like an optimal build for the flamethrower, and that's why it's an optimal overclock. But
I mean, it's just once again, I don't know. It's why I think the flamethrower is kind of mid as fuck. Is because that's the best build. I don't know. But yeah, it's almost definitely a 4. Like that
one of those builds where like Burning Hell on the minigun, where the developers definitely intended for that to just be a thing and everything else kind of came a bit second.
Yeah, like they essentially forced it to occur.
Yeah, they were like, this is an idea that we're putting on this primary, and this is a build that you're going to be able to do. Because when they're introducing the idea of builds for specific weapons, they got to come up with some builds as examples, and that's one of the ones they came up with. And because of that, it's kind of so inbuilt you can't avoid it. Because I was saying, literally 3 of the 5 modification slots are purely for sticky flames. Like, it's not like you would use them for sticky flames and maybe something else. It's literally you can only use it for that type of build.
Yeah, and I think
it's same with the other 2 overclocks. 2 overclocks you can only use for that type of build.
And I think it's slightly interesting that they didn't do a tier 5 that inherently uses sticky flames. But there's an argument as to the heat radiance is kind of to help that in that it's your self-defense while you sticky fuel, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so.
This is something I want to know. This is actually something I noticed when I was doing the video that's probably never going to come out. But they don't decrease the other elements. Face melter and sticky fuel do not decrease the amount of heat the thing produces.
Yeah.
And they do not decrease the other side.
Well, they
Face
suck.
melter doesn't decrease sticky fuel. Sticky fuel doesn't decrease direct damage.
Well, they suck really dick. Because they could be better at what they do if you impeded the other aspects. You could make them better at what they do specifically.
Both of them just gun for ammo and tank side.
Yeah.
Which either was just a weird like
okay. All right.
Like a weird decision they made, or like an accident. They didn't think about it. I thought that was you then, Harry, for some reason.
No.
I didn't realize it.
Anyway, that's just this is for Face Melter specifically, though, right? Because obviously Sticky Fuel's kind of good, but Face Melter, I wouldn't want to get rid of heat, though, because you kind of need that. But I would just drop... If Face Melter just got rid of Sticky Flames entirely in exchange for more direct damage, that'd be great.
Yeah, that as well, yeah. But that's a weird thing, because if they did that on purpose, then it really is heavily implied that the way you're supposed to attack enemies with the flamethrower is kind of do all 3 at the same time, even with sticky fuel and face melter.
Yeah, face melter, you're still meant to kind of shoot. I guess you would be kind of shooting at sort of decline, right? Yeah.
Like you're supposed to heat.
I was talking to my dad, but like, why does sticky direct?
And why does face melter not have sticky fuel penalties?
Like, normal. You never use it for direct. So what? Like that's what typically build stuff do. That's typically what build overclocks do, don't they? They make the stuff that you don't need as much shit, and the stuff that you will then need to focus on really good.
Yeah. Well, no, Tom. I actually think that's not really true, especially if you use your Burning Hell example. Burning Hell increases heat generation, which is specifically Burning Hell. It doesn't impede like direct damage or ammo, which is the stuff that you don't need.
Burning Hell actually helps it more, example, because it increases heat generation, which you want. You actually want heat generation more, because then that means with your hot bullets, because you combine that with it to make it more fire build.
No, Tom, I know. Like, I know that's helpful. Like Burning Hell is like a clean unstable in disguise. It's so weird.
Isn't it also a balance though?
That's what I mean. It's a balanced overclock, and yet it's like it's actually an unstable with no penalties. It's actually that's what it's more like. It's more like an unstable overclock with no downsides.
Which is why I don't think you could use Burning Hell as a reference as to why this isn't that weird.
Yeah, I think Burning Hell is kind of broken. I think we can actually agree on that. I love it, but it is kind of broken.
Yeah. But literally, it just felt like this. They just kind of decided that, fuck it, we're gonna do this really early on, and it doesn't quite make sense. But yeah, it is so weird how they don't attack the other parts of the gun. And I really want them to like address that
it's because in context, City Fuel is the best example. It's like it's to make sure that what it does isn't too strong. Sticky Fuel needs to take away ammo. It does. And it doesn't, it wouldn't matter if it take away direct damage because you're not using it for that anyway. So it's not really a penalty.
Sticky Fuel, I think, is fine and reasonable, right? That is what it is. But I find it baffling that Face Melter doesn't reduce Sticky Fuel.
Exactly, because you can still shoot at the floor. Exactly. So it's still you can still absolutely use that, and you should. That's still the best way to do it. You should still be shooting a bit of a decline to get sticky flames. So, yeah. Or Face Melter. Anyway, I think we are in agreement on the rating side. We've got Sticky Fuel at 4 and Face Melter at 2. So, if we are in agreement, then we can actually move on. There's the tables.
Spend on the flamethrower.
Hmm?
How long do we just spend on the flamethrower?
Well, we're at 46 minutes.
That makes sense.
Look through a couple of the unstables just to have a look, but like neurotoxin, yeah.
Yeah.
It on the Thunderhead. It is one of the and most of them are when it buffs one thing and then gets rid of the thing that you don't really want to focus on. Like it's lower damage output, but you're not focusing on damage anyway.
Well, some of them do
applying the effect.
Some of them do that. Some of them buff the area you want and then nerf the other area. So it basically says you signed up to use this gun in this way. Something like that. Others, they basically
lead spray on the significant damage boost, increase base spread. You're not using it at range because the point is you go in and fuck them up.
Yeah.
Like most of them are like that.
That isn't that though. That isn't the nerfing other stuff. That is basically saying we are giving you this power, but you can only use it in these parameters, right? Like volatile bullets. It's stuff like that. They do that. There's like different types, and it's like they'll buff the area that like they'll buff that part of the gun tons, but also nerf the same part to really like kind of contain it.
That one often.
Yeah, they do like they've got like a couple different types for like unstable / balanced, and it's just that these two
do not follow that.
Yeah, like. The sticky flames. It's weird that it doesn't do direct damage, but ultimately it's not that big of a deal since the gun doesn't inherently have that much direct damage. So the fact you're not getting any essentially means you won't really be using it. But no, the fact that Face Melter you would then also be able to use the sticky flames build essentially. Like you could pick all 3 sticky flames stuff on the Face Melter. That would be like not actually a bad idea because it's at no worse at face melting. No worse at sticky flaming.
The time my fucking basically is I got the all ammo compact feed valves and like heat build. So I could then just put sticky fuel on that, and my direct damage and heat is still the fucking same. It's just weird.
Yeah, it's very very weird. And I want to know if they did that on purpose because it implies that literally no matter what you're doing, you should kind of just be shooting at the floor, like through an enemy. Through an enemy, shooting at a floor is the apex way of using the flame. And that's like always the case, essentially, even with the unstables. Except I guess probably the long range one. But yeah, we should probably move on. But it's just we've always got a lot to say about the flame.
Yeah.
I mean, drillers, everything is quite controversial.
Is he the most? He might be the most controversial.
For sure.
He's so
I think
finicky, right? Like it's like other characters. They just have guns that shoot, and the way they shoot, people discuss about. But Driller doesn't even have that, right? The fact that his primaries are ultimately incompatible with boss-type enemies is fucking stupid. And not like in a bad way, but just kind of wild, right? Everyone else, they're just guns.
It's such a double-edged sword. Like he has so many positives and then so many negatives as well. Yeah, the positives are so large, but then the negatives are also so large, and it's like it's so circumstantial and everything, and awkward and weird. And there's so many oddities between him and the rest of the characters.
I think the flamethrower is probably like least of all of them. Really, it's the simplest one, really.
Yeah, I mean satchels are obviously a fucking very divisive thing. What the fuck they are.
Is the flamethrower the simplest one? Is the cryo cannon not more simple?
Grenades are weird as fuck. Drills are weird as fuck. Secondaries are always a fucking discussion. They're just shit. But they're not.
Well, they're not. Like, don't like. Watch your tongue, mate. Wash your tongue. Wash it.
Yeah.
They are in the fact that they're not standalone weapons.
Yeah, no, you can't really look at an individual piece of Driller's kit, and be like, "Fuck you, you're clearly terrible because you're just on your own." Especially not with the secondaries.
Yeah, but the secondaries on their own are fucking garbage.
The primaries on
when
their
you
own
use them
really
with everything.
Yeah. Woo!
Speaking of on their own,
and the grenades as well. Yeah, the grenades all are.
Oh, what?
In combination as well.
Yeah.
Everything works in with each other, doesn't it?
Yeah, except the satchels.
Moving satchels.
Yeah, cryo cannon, which is, it's a gun, which we'll probably get into more. That's a spider on my bed.
All right.
That's his bedroom now. I'm gonna sit on the stairs.
What?
Okay. Cryo cannon. I'm getting comfy.
Sorry, guys. Let's just give Tyler a moment to get comfy.
Yeah, on the stairs.
Wait, sorry. Sorry, shit. Fuck. Sorry, I didn't mean to say. Fuck. I didn't mean to apologise.
Oh, you silly goose. Yeah. Cryo cannon. Did we do an overview? I can't remember if we do an overview.
What do you mean an overview?
Like, I don't know. Do you know what the cryo cannon is? It's a gun that freezes things. There, boom, overview.
Holy shit! You're right. It does do that.
Yeah.
All right, my lips are sealed.
That's it. That's all it does.
All right, so here we got magazine size, but it actually says times 0.33 pressure drop rate. This is why I hate the cryo cannon.
It's kind of awkward.
I need to. It's all up to you. Actually, I should probably go. Okay, so we got that. We got
them all.
minus 0.4 seconds charge up time, and we got free power plus 1 cold per particle, plus 1 CP per P.
See now, right? Here's the fact of the matter. If you wish to freeze target, less one. Like, if you want a more reliable freeze, that's your Bowie. That right there is gonna guarantee it.
That's your Bowie.
Yeah.
If one freeze doesn't really make much difference,
not really in any way.
So many times do you not have enough chamber pressure to freeze a target, and that's what costs you the freeze on like the dreadnought or the oppressor.
Bigger targets, yeah.
Even bigger targets, yeah. That's what really cuts you off. Not freezing power. As long as your freezing power is decent, like not like 6 or some bullshit like that, like not ice storm freezing power, you're fine. The biggest issue is often the pressure, the chamber pressure.
Yeah. Like it literally is. Like as it stands, you start at 8 freezing power. That is enough to basically insta-freeze grunts. Right? It's not technically flash freezing or anything, but it will freeze them within a reasonable amount of time, reliably. But adding more freeze doesn't break through any breakpoints, right? Adding more freeze, you still freeze grunts really quickly, and you don't really freeze the bigger targets that much, right? Like maybe you'll freeze Praetorians quicker, but not that base ones that bad either. But with larger pressure chamber, it just means you can freeze everything with relative ease. Just all of things that could be thrown at you will be able to be frozen in a reasonable amount of time, with relative just complete ease. And I think that it's not a 5. I think it's just a critique of the gun. It's still a 4 though. It's the best thing, arguably, pick on tier 1.
Yeah, but okay, maybe that's fine. The other two are 3s though, aren't they? At least, like, charge up time is very nice, just very, very nice. That's convenience to a point of being a straight up benefit.
If you are running
freezing power is good.
Freezing, you'll be using tuned cooler, and tuned cooler then means that you will want to pick faster turbine spin up, because otherwise you're then running at 0.7 charge up time, which is not fun.
Yeah, and you don't need any more freeze with tuned cooler. Right?
No, you don't. That's one of the reasons why you use it.
It's no thing though, Harry. Genuinely, that freeze in tier 1 isn't a pick. I don't think under any circumstance you should pick it.
That doesn't sound right at all. That can't be true. It's kind of free almost though.
No, it's not. Well, sure, it's free if you don't want to reliably freeze bigger enemies.
But do you always want to
change anything else?
Either, I guess.
It is 1 freezing power. You are not going to freeze any target quick enough to really warrant anything. Yet, not taking the pressure drop rate will essentially guarantee that just as you're about to freeze that bulk, just as you're about to freeze that dreadnought, just about as you're about to do anything, it will give way. Right? That's what you're guaranteeing. You will freeze less things by not picking that larger pressure chamber. Like, if you want to freeze more things, you pick that over the freeze thing. It is not. It's not it. If you want convenience, pick the middle one. If you want to freeze things, pick the one on the left. I genuinely think you should never pick the freeze in tier 1. There's no reason to.
Because the first one's just really good. Second one's more convenience than being really, really good, and like ease of use. But that still is very valuable.
But also, like, save you if you get jumped. Having it one.
But then again, it is
terror.
It's definitely a 3 because it's not that great. It's not, and then
the
extra freeze power, you just don't need it. You just don't.
Pick that freeze power, and say you're getting jumped, like in that situation where 2 would help you and 1 inherently wouldn't. That freeze wouldn't really either. In all fairness, like, they're going to get
in that situation is cold radiance.
I know. I was thinking. I know about cold radiance. That was the
then that would then actually help you close range when you actually need it.
Yeah. That does justify it to me, actually. Cold radiance is all the grunt freezing power you ever need.
Yeah. And if you've got more than a grunt, then you wouldn't want +1 freeze. You would want longer shooting time. Like, genuinely, I think it's a 1.
We can't do that.
No, it is. I'm confident enough to fucking throw hands with Lazy Maybe or confirm with Lazy Maybe, because I'm fucking confident that analytically that should never be picked. Just at no point in time is worth picking.
Actually, I think I was thinking it was a 2 just because freezing power is like always kind of useful because you do need a decent freezing power, otherwise the cryo is just shit.
Never that one. I never think that one.
Yeah, I never ever am gonna think that that's the freezing power pick.
Yeah.
It just isn't.
If you need a little extra freezing power, either overclock or that tier 4.
Yeah, and if you pick the overclock, then you have to pick the second gear modification.
Yeah.
This feels extremely enclosed in recently acquired feelings.
I don't think it's feelings. I think it's a
very no. You're essentially in the honeymoon period of realizing how you're meant to use the cryo cannon, and you're that's why you're saying it's a 1. And I feel that's just too extreme. It's too recent of a realization for you to be that extreme. I'm not allowing 1.
No, literally, you are objectively wrong. You told me,
Tyler, I don't give a fuck. 2 is still bad.
No, 2 is viable. It is not viable.
Of course it is.
No, it's not. It is literally, it is negligible, if not undeniably worse. Like it is
no,
either
one is just bad though, like completely shit, and you could pick it, and you're not going to be fucked, are you?
Yeah, you're not fucked.
It would still have a positive, but it's just that it wouldn't be nearly as good as any other option.
Yeah,
meaning that that based off the rules of the rated ranking, technically it has to be a 2 because although you wouldn't really want to pick it, but it's more because the other ones are better than that one being shit.
Yeah, literally.
Because you could pick that, and you wouldn't be screwed though. You could pick that, and it wouldn't be that bad.
But you wouldn't
screw yourself over.
You would have lost. You are worse at freezing, and you are being and you're not gaining any convenience.
That still means that it's viable, not just it's not going to literally just be like fucking terrible, and that you're going to do like fucking shit because of it.
Yeah, but there's never a good reason to pick it over the other two.
It's also kind of really only validated by
individual
cold
modification. That's comparing it in comparison to the other ones.
Well, in the tier, that's allowed. In the tier, that's the point. Like, ones are ones you would never pick, right? That explodey one does stuff, right? You know, the flamethrower, the fucking tier 5 that we gave a 1. It works, it does it benefits you, but you give it a 1, right? Because you never use it. You would never have a good reason to use it. Like, there is never a good reason to use this.
Always used. And so you would benefit from using it. You would get more freezing power. And it wouldn't be that noticeable of an amount, but it would still be there. It would still be a positive.
You would have the flamethrower blow up enemies 50% of the time in direct damage. I've noticed that.
No, but that one's a 1. That one's a 1, Tyler, because, right, cryo, you are pretty much 100% of the time you are freezing your targets. But with flamethrower, there is only one build. Like, you are never killing them through direct damage. There is only one build that will maybe do it. So that makes it an actual detriment because it is never being used. But every time you attack a grunt, an enemy, freezing power is coming into play. No matter what build you're using, every single time that freeze power in mod mod 1 is actually doing something.
Yeah, but it's not even doing a percentage of what the other
not as effective as it could, but it is there doing stuff, helping.
Fine, we can put it as a 2, but I am downright stating this, and you, Harry, you can think it's a honeymoon, but I think it's a fact that is a mod that you should never pick.
Yeah, and I guess I do kind of agree. Like, if you're actually really thinking about your builds and everything, you shouldn't.
Yeah, but that's what suboptimal means. 2 is suboptimal, which essentially does mean you probably shouldn't take it, but it doesn't mean it's unusable either, which is what a 1 is.
Yeah, because like 1 in that direct damage kills.
How is it not
that is actually just fucking terrible for you in every single regard. You're never going to use it, and it doesn't do your shit.
1. Like, there is no situation where you would pick that over the other 2. No situation where it is stronger and more preferable.
Freezing power does, at the end of the day, there is a trade-off because the freezing power does freeze things quicker.
Yeah, but you aren't
and with less ammo.
Better.
I don't see how you're not freezing better. You can freeze quicker and with less ammo used. So I mean.
When you have that problem with freezing large targets, like I've currently got 10 freezing power with my build, and I haven't picked the that third one. I've picked the second one, and 10 I can freeze Praetorians, Dreadnoughts, all that, but it is difficult.
And you pick the other one, and it's easy, easiest shit ever. No difficulty. Probably a reliable Dreadnought freezing machine. If you pick the pressure drop one, I do not see why you would.
I'm not going to spend. No, stop. I'm not going to spend this long trying to decide for it to be a 2 or a 1, which is not pointless. So
I've said 2. You keep bringing it up.
I'm not going to. I'm not going to. We don't need to.
You are wrong. It is a 1.
Second one.
What, tier 2?
Tier 2.
Yeah. I mean, come on, guys. Let's just be real here. Okay, we've got ammo plus 75. We've got range plus 5 meters. Yeah, I know.
Reach is kind of like not that. It's all right.
And repressurization delay.
What? That's pointless.
Maybe. Probably.
Just don't.
It is.
Just don't empty it. Like that's simple as.
It's probably, I don't know what, 4, 2, 1. Right. Well, no, it's not a 1. It's not a 1 because it will work.
No, because if you're like good at the game,
but if you're bad, it's good.
Yeah, if you're bad, it's good.
Should always be mods for people like that.
Yeah, there should always be. It just then means that like I cannot actually think of a time that I've run out of pressure in the fucking cryo.
Yeah, it's just a bit of a crutch. I feel hold on.
I'm trying to freeze a dreadnought.
This is really unfair, actually, isn't it?
Never even had to be an issue.
No, yeah, no, but when you're freezing like a dreadnought, you see it's not going to do it, so you just stop before it actually completely runs out of pressure, because otherwise, then you've run out of pressure and you're fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah, for a second.
Range really should not be competing with ammo. This is so unfair on the range mod. It really is. I feel so bad. That's why we forget about it. That's just not
range
fair
should
at all.
definitely be on tier 3, right? I mean, fuck me, like
absolutely. Yeah, it should be, but it's not. It's not. It's there.
So it's never used.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, just 4, 2, 2.
Oh God! Fine. I don't feel particularly strongly. Ammo's like.
I mean, ammo's always good on cryo.
It's a must pick. It's not like a ridiculous amount though, I guess. So it's it's not too strong, but maybe it is.
No, but it is a good pick when there's really no competition for what you're gonna do.
Yeah. Tier 3 is kind of just like, it's just the most nothing tier to me. I mean, it doesn't mean there's no choice here. Okay, so we've got increased pressure gain rate. So that's basically that's essentially how quickly you recover from overheating in the cryocannon sense. Or increased rate of fire.
It's not, I have just realised it's not from overheating it. It's from just from like not using all of it even. It's just like using some
right.
of it.
It's like cooling rate basically, but essentially.
Yeah.
Alright. So I guess
I use that one because I don't want more flow rate because you're just going to burn through more ammo then.
You do run into that danger.
Yeah, and you don't need.
It's basically
not that you have an issue with getting out that freezing power, so there's no point in increased flow rate.
What?
I use the flow rate in the build that I like because it doesn't really spec into freezing power. It has plenty of ammo, so basically
you can then increase your freezing time.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, decrease your freezing time, but without using freezing power to do it.
Yeah. So
which makes sense.
I think I mean, really, I don't think it makes much sense. 2-2. I think they're both not good.
I love it. Let's do it. 2-2.
Yeah.
Fuck it. I don't care. That's awesome. 2-2.
An ultimately negligible choice.
Oh
then
God.
We've got
you better off not take. Well, no. The thing is, Tyler. The thing is, you are. This is the one that avoids any kind of potential downsides, and this doesn't. That's the thing. So it should probably be 3-2 or something.
No, because if you want to freeze things as quick as you possibly can, flow rate. Like both have arguments, they're just both not particularly good.
Yeah, but this one has no arguments against.
Well, there is.
What?
Rather
using the other one, I guess. Yeah. Sure. Fuck. I mean, okay. I thought the 2-2 thing was funny. Let's just go with it. Fine. Tier 4 is fucking gay as hell.
First one. Point like shit. It's damage.
Good lord.
The next two are actually important because that's a big choice. Because this is where you're picking.
Oh, so this is a big choice now, is it?
Yeah, well, because it's 150 tank capacity, which is a big.
I know. That's what I mean. This is obvious. Ammo. It's so much. This is the essential ammo one. I mean, even in tier 2, you're probably always going to take ammo, but this is almost more essential.
It's not.
Okay, maybe not.
If you pick that extra ammo, now you haven't got an extra freezing power, and now your freezing power is getting quite low, and you're not going to pick the first one. So now if you pick ammo,
yeah, this is a thing. This is
genuinely. First of all, and we'll come up later. Freezing radiance invalidates freezing power.
It does. It does.
It validates it completely. It's essentially insta freeze whenever you're near. It doesn't matter. But second of all, ultimately, it is still fine. Like, genuinely, just, it's still fine. It still freezes things within the amount of time that anyone would ever need it to. Like, it's fine. And as long as you have tons of ammo, it's fine. And I think 150 ammo makes up for that a lot.
Yeah, so, okay, obviously we're going to get to Ice Storm, but, you know, Ice Storm doesn't help this mod as much as Flame Face Fucker helped the other one. Okay, so basically what I'm saying is the one.
Oh, yeah.
Because genuinely, in terms of the cryo cannon, this is definitely a downgrade compared to the other choices, right? Much more so than something like the tier 1 thing, right? This is just really bad idea. This is just
cryo cannon. Like the flamethrower, you're trying to kill it, and you have free paths. You know, direct damage, sticky flames, setting them on fire, and like burning, kill them. Right? You're trying to kill them. Cryo cannon, you're just trying to freeze them. That's all you ever need to be focusing on doing. Whether you do that in that you add ammo, so you have to freeze a lot of things, freezing power, so you freeze them really quickly, flow rate, fucking shoot for longer, all that shit. All you're ever focused on is freezing them.
You know the problem I have, because technically these weapons still do predate the very first introduction of overclocks. The problem I have is that this was ever a thing, because if this wasn't a thing, Ice Storm probably wouldn't have been a thing. But it's never had any excuse existing, especially before Ice Storm. So, good lord, what a horrible thing.
It just feels like a forced choice. Like, look, you can use the cryo cannon as a defensive weapon.
Yeah, but
you just
offensive. What? Why would you say defensive? What the fuck, bro?
I didn't. Built from the ground up to not be able to kill things. Like, that's clearly never the point in construction of the weapon. But yeah, no, I don't know.
I think still 2. I think all the freeze powers are going to get 2, basically, or both of them, I guess.
And then the ammo is like a 4 again. I mean, fuck me.
Well, this is the one that I was thinking could be a 5. Is there anyone not taking this ammo mod?
Tom, clearly.
Oh, yeah, well, there's Tom, isn't there?
I don't think it's a 5.
Look, man, it's double this one. You don't get that. That's not the same with the flamethrower, and arguably, it's even like the other choices are almost even worse.
Freezing power does make it more ammo efficient.
Yeah, but
not compared to 150 ammo.
Yeah, but like on a very genuine note, Tom, have you ever used a cryo cannon so detailedly, like so specifically that you're using the exact right amount of ammo for enemies, to where you wouldn't be wasting budge, where another shot of freezing power is invalid ultimately, the efficiency of freezing power, especially since you can hit multiple enemies at a time and it's just all blurry. And ammo efficiency with the driller's primary.
So what we were talking about before was how the usage of a cryo cannon, as we've been playing like for a while, we've been talking about, is it worse? Is it bad now, or was it always bad? And we think it's because it has just kind of not kept up with the way the game's changed and just become more of a worse choice. And I think freezing power in the old game used to be far more needed. Yet in the current game, I think it is less important.
Yeah, because ultimately you can freeze less enemies, right? Freezing is like not particularly giga useful, and against robots especially, but it's not exactly the most useful thing against rock pox, stuff like that. And so, in the end of the day, like if your freezing isn't always going to be useful, you kind of just need ammo to deal with whatever situation occurs. Just having it be around for longer. I don't know. It's just in a really bad state. the cryo cannon is in a rough place. But I think ultimately that it's just too much ammo. It is just too much ammo. I think it would be a bit more equal if it was a 75 like the other one, but it ain't. It's 150.
Yeah. Yeah. So you with me on this one?
So what's I think the freezing power is a 3.
Freezing power. That freezing power, I think, is better because if you want to freeze things quicker, then that is the option there. Yeah.
Hold on. If we're cool, but that means that it's a balanced pick, but in that case, I would say the ammo would have to be a 5 then, because I still think it's the same. I think there's still the same space between them.
There's a lot of ammo, and the ammo matters a lot on cryo.
Yeah, 135 I think is kind of fair.
Like 150 is a shit ton.
Ass load.
Yeah.
The only build where I don't take the ammo mod is with ice. The only build where that ammo mod isn't used is Ice Storm. And you know,
yeah. Although I would argue that that's probably the one where you would use it. I don't know about you, but I feel like that might be a hint to Ice Storm. Is don't pick the damage.
Well, no. But the thing about Ice Storm is it's like so much worse if you don't take the damage as well. It's like so much worse even then. It's like way worse than it is anyway if you don't take the damage, which is
but then you have 150 less ammo.
Terrifying. Really Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, but Ice Storm. Fuck off. Tier 5.
Use an Ice Storm build that's supposed to freeze.
Well, the thing is, Ice Storm implies that you're supposed to freeze.
I haven't tried that yet. Because I just can't take this on Ice Storm, but I might actually try it.
Make sure you pick everything freezing. Even the first one. Like tier 1 freeze, tier fucking 4 freeze, Cold Radiance, and then use Ice Storm. Because it says extra bonus damage against frozen. Like,
yeah. It's not
that extra damage bonus on top of the normal damage probably end up being a lot. It doesn't say how much in the game.
We'll get to that.
The other thing.
We'll get to that. Not on that yet. We're on tier 5.
None of us tried that build, though, have we?
No.
No.
Which is a bit unfair.
Fall into
Can't imagine it'll be pleasant, but
no.
Fragile is better than the other one.
Yes, Fragile is better than Targets Explode.
Yeah. It's probably still like a 2, right?
No, I'm going to give Fragile a 3 because we're giving Cold Radiance a 5.
Yeah. Cold Radiance.
I think Fragile's a 4.
Okay.
Because
just ignore him, Tyler. Just ignore him.
No, because it's not that it really just insta kills them, and also when they're frozen and you're attacking them. And you're attacking them when they're already frozen and you're attacking them, like they will that chance for them to shatter goes again. You can be attacking them and they didn't shatter immediately, and then they'll just shatter again later on.
It really only works against grunts, so
they will fucking shatter.
Like often, then you'll have no cryo cannon ammo. Like you will literally, if you're still shooting frozen enemies, you're not going to be able to freeze any enemies later down the line because your ammo.
What I'm saying is that you'll shoot the swarm, yeah, and some of them will freeze straight away and shatter, and then because you're still shooting, because there's still enemies that aren't frozen, and it's pierce. Some of the ones that you froze earlier that didn't shatter immediately then shatter. So then you end up shattering a large portion of that swarm.
Yeah, but I think. All right, that sounds valid as an argument on its own, but it's not a 4, and I'll tell you why. The Wave Cooker does that, but better on its own, because essentially you freeze a couple enemies with the cryo cannon, switch to the Wave Cooker, have the temperature fuckery one on tier 3 and 5. It uses those frozen enemies. Spreads cryo to all of them around them, temperature shocks them, then temperature shocks the ones they freeze while spreading freeze out there, and essentially it passes that effect to the Wave Cooker, so the cryo cannon can conserve its ammo like a lot. I think as long as that's in the game, Fragile cannot be a 4.
It's not a 4. No, absolutely not. I mean, I'm starting to lean a bit more towards 2 anyway. So, based on what it says here,
it's it's not as bad as the thingy, but like ultimately, cryo cannon is not really something you want to be shooting into a horde of already frozen stuff.
Yeah, fragile is good for if you want to clear grunt hordes with the cryo cannon itself. But unfortunately, it's going to make you a lot worse at what most people want the cryo cannon to do, comparatively to taking cold radiance, which is freezing everything well. Instead of being a little bit worse at freezing but killing grunt hordes well. That's not necessarily your job. You can do that in a lot of other ways as well, like the wave cooker or the UPC or your drills.
It only works against not only works against grunts, but it's only going to reasonably work against grunts.
Yeah, it does.
A really convoluted way of saying what it does. But
yeah, I'm going to be honest.
100 HP for it to
I'm going to be honest. I think it's actually a 2. So unfortunately, we gave targets exploded 1, so it's still higher. So I don't know.
In the end of the day, Cold Radiance is probably one of the most easiest, freest abilities in the entire fucking game. It essentially means that as long as you're shooting the cryo cannon, you can't die from
this is why it's so much better. This is why I actually think it's so much better than the flamethrower one, right? Because it makes so much more sense for it to have a close range thing like that. Because the flamethrower doesn't inherently save you just by setting things on fire at close range, but the cryo cannon does. It's a lot better in that sense. Yeah, it's kind of nuts. And it's just incredibly powerful.
Oh God, I just remember when fucking swarmers didn't die when they got frozen.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
God, that's so fucking shit.
I remember when that change happened, and we were like, they made it even stronger.
The cold radiance is going to just kill them.
Yeah, it kills all swarmers. Just like the flamethrower does. But then, the flamethrower sets grunts and plus on fire, but the cryo cannon freezes them, which, actually does save you. You would then have to probably finish them off, but either way, you're not dying to a shit ton of enemies around. Like, the cryo cannon with Cold Radiance is one of the few guns where you can be in the middle of literally anything and kind of just survive, because everything's then going to be paused, essentially. I don't know. Yeah, it's a 5. It's an easy 5 because it's skillless, free, and broken.
One blow, schlum blow. Do you know what it does annoy me? This mentions the ice path, which I always forget about because it is a thing, and yet here we are saddled with hard mixture and ice storm instead of something that specs into the ice path. Great. I'm really happy that they did that. I'm really happy.
Just abandoned that as like a part of the gun.
It's literally just there. I mean, they're both sort of gratuitous, really. The cryo cannon just comes down to freezing power no matter what. So both the damage and the ice path are redundant. They're just there because the flamethrower does damage and has sticky flames.
Yeah.
If anything, it would be better if they just if it was all to do with freezing. Just drop all the other shit.
Worse, the cryo's direct damage or the direct damage build or the flamethrower direct damage build?
Cryo is worse. Yeah, cryo's worse. Yeah. Anyway.
Any day of the week.
Any day of the week. Monday, absolutely, it's even worse. Right. Overcrooks. This one, Tyler. It's your favourite, isn't it?
Yeah, that's currently my favourite build. Which, in all fairness, that doesn't do much. Because if you click that and the tier 1 mod, just like to show it. I mean, the actual overclock doesn't do much for the pressure drop rate. From 33% brings it under 25%. But it does just mean I can just shoot for literally, I could shoot for an entire swarm non-stop, and I probably wouldn't depressurize. Right? And obviously, there are breaks in swarms. And that instantly depressurizes. It's gone. It's straight back in. So it's just always freezing, always nice. And I mean, I don't know what an actual rating would be, because personally, obviously, it's my favorite build on it right now, but I would go probably 3. Ain't bad.
We're talking about improved thermal efficiency.
It's the only one that gives you
The only clean
ammo.
True. Yeah. Duh. Not a lot though, is it? It's not.
No, it's not a lot.
I built a version of your build type. And I put Ice Spear on it.
That's probably very fair. Once again, I don't really need that for my build. Like, it's not doing that much. That's why it's really only a 3.
All right, cool.
Clean just isn't that good as a clean goes.
No, honestly, it is actually quite low down in terms of cleans. I think most cleans, like, you know, if cleans add ammo, it's usually more noticeable than this. You know.
Yeah, 25 is fuck all. Absolutely fuck all in comparison to a mod that does 150 and the other mod that does 75. And then the like with your fucking build, Tyler, the pressure drop rate is -8%.
What?
Yeah.
8%. 8. When the modifier is -67. So there's a modifier and the overclock. You don't need that overclock at all.
No, I don't.
No, it doesn't do. It doesn't do much. I mean, yeah, it does contribute to your build a bit more.
Look, hold on, stop. It's fine. We're giving it 3. It's fine. All right, let's move on. Don't worry about it.
It's in all fairness, you would then pick either the tier 1 2 or tier 1 3, which I think you would use B and C, normally the terms. You would actually, this would give you a reason to not pick the pressure drop rate, essentially, because it's not as good as it, but it does have a light. I double down. It's nice. It's
all right.
nice.
All right. Whatever. All right. Tuner. Right. This is Tune Cooler is the one that a lot of people would give their 4 or 5 to. And in a lot of ways, I can't say I'm completely against them, because if you can get over the downsides, it is kind of just free freezing power, and you're not losing any ammo, which is a big deal. So it's still quite good.
Response, you just put on the second mod, and now that's pretty much gone now.
Yeah, it's still not crazy.
Rate. Also, it's not by that much, and it doesn't really matter that much either. Yeah, increased flow rate means that you're going to freeze things quicker. Extra freezing power means you're going to freeze things quicker, and those two are both really nice things to have.
See, I really don't know what you think of it anymore, Tyler. But based on what you've said, you must admit it's like probably the best freezing power option, actually, right? Considering what you said about the other freezing power options, except cold radiance.
I think chances are, if I tried it, because my build with that is pure freeze.
It's not freeze, it's freezing rate, because it's increased flow rate, so it's a freezing rate overclock.
Yeah, it's got that and freeze power. I always forget it does have flow rate as well. Yeah, Tune Cooler is really good. It's just
those combined then means that it does it extra, doesn't it?
Yeah, but it's like a burst type freeze though. Not as much as another one, but it doesn't. Yeah, I don't know. The
problem is with Tune Cooler is you do kind of have to press that second tier 1.
You don't have
otherwise
to.
It's a long time otherwise.
It's not great, but it's not the worst thing in the world.
It then goes up to 0.7 charge up time, which is really not nice.
Yeah, I know. I'd give Tune Cooler a 3 as well, actually, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't think it's because, particularly as we're discovering now with the sort of cryo change of opinion, and also I think it has just changed with like power creep of new enemies. The freezing rate with freezing power and flow rate just isn't really what you need anymore. I think it is pressure, like ammo and pressure drop rate.
Pressure cooker.
More important.
Right. Cool.
Yeah, I'll go with 3. And I mean, that's one of the ones that I really like as well, but with 3.
Most people do like Tune Cooler. Hmm?
Yeah, I mean, it could be. It's definitely very high 3. It could. I think it could be.
Well, it should be a 4 though, realistically, because I mean, you know, if you're,
I think it could be 4.
what else are you going to use?
I think it's probably a 4. It's still good for pretty much any build, really. It's tight because it's still going to help your favorite build if you were to change it to Tune Cooler. It would still help you.
Yeah, I realize.
Yeah, because it's like it used to be clean as well, which is just kind of insane. I think it used to be clean and it used to have more freezing power. Just nonsense.
Tyler's build is it orientates itself around picking that tier 1.
Yeah, but you can still do that. You can still do that.
You can. But I think probably my favourite mod on Overclock, on Cryo is Ice Spear.
Alright.
We can do that one next, or have you already done it?
Okay, well actually, because we've got to decide then 4 or 3 for Tune Cooler.
I'll say 4. I'm happy with 4.
Realistically.
Alright, it's cool. It's fine. Let's give it 4 then. Alright. So this hasn't changed in your eyes, has it, Tyler? Since your recent Cryocan discoveries, it's still a completely pointless loser.
I used it, and it is essentially the opposite of the thing I mentioned. It is the burst freeze. Literally, it just like you need to repress. It's gone again. Like it is super fucking quick.
The problem I have with Flare Expansion is like it's just like basic. It's
not that quick though. It's only 10%.
It's like the same as Tune Cooler, but without the extra freezing power, and it's just kind of weird. If Flow Rate Expansion had a increased charge up like speed, then maybe it'd be worth using. But the problem is, the reason why it doesn't, and this really fucking pisses me off, by the way, is the fact that if you take this, you're down to 0.1 seconds, and they can't have it go lower, I guess. So basically, this is just prevented from being any good unless you really, really jack the flow rate up, you know, but like to a ridiculous amount. Then you get what you want from it. I don't know. Flow rate expansion. I don't know.
It's probably a 2. I mean, it's. I don't know. It's just if you feel like mixing things up a little bit with the cryo cannon.
Yeah, but hold on. But I'm just thinking because it barely has any upsides, right? Like, it doesn't even really have any upsides, to be honest. I don't know. You know what? I don't care enough to try and fight for any lower.
The increased flow rate is minimal. 10% is fuck all, really. Considering the mods are, I think, more than that. Yeah, the mod in tier 3, which we've said is shit, is more than that. So the flow rate's fucking garbage. What's the point? That's one of the positives. The very fast chamber pressurization, it very much is. That is fucking ridiculously quick.
Yeah, but only because it loses. It has to do it more often.
Yeah.
So
it's shit, really.
Yeah, and honestly, this is one of the ones I would like to just see completely changed anyway.
None of any of the stuff really do anything. Even the negative isn't really doing much either.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a very weird one.
So a 2. It's a 2.
Your gun isn't any better.
Not that good of a pick at all. 2 has to be. It's so just not what you want at all ever.
I guess it's not. I guess it's not unusable, but it's not worth using.
It's not unusable, but yeah, it's not worth using ever.
Yeah, fine. I mean, I really don't like its existence, but let's just leave it.
Positives are minimal. The negatives are minimal, but the negatives are probably a bit more of a big deal because that shorter runtime, as we've established, is one of the biggest things affecting the cryo.
Well, like I said, it's almost just the downside, and it's like really you're going to take that over anything else as well. It's a bit weird.
You just pick anything else.
Not anything else. Maybe not Ice Storm.
Oh yeah, we don't count Ice.
What we do count though is Ice Spear.
Ice Spear, woohoo!
Woo! Ice Spear gang, rise up.
The strongest, one of the strongest balanced, because the downside is so fucking little, and the positive is so cool and good.
Yeah, but its downsides aren't on the paper, are they? They're in practice. It's using 50 ammo, and the fact that you really should be freezing everything you ice spear anyway. So you're going to be using even more ammo.
Is it 50?
Yeah,
50.
It's 50 ammo.
It is 50.
Yeah, and honestly, you should be freezing because that damage is not worth not freezing things for, and so they're not worth risking not hitting a weak point. So you should also always be freezing everything that you try and ice spear. But
yeah, and then you freeze a bloody oppressor, spend like shit tons of ammo on that. Press ice spear, unfreezes just as you shoot it.
You can still do it though. It doesn't. It's not like it's impossible to ice spear a frozen oppressor. Maybe you're supposed to shoot the floor. I don't know. Maybe you're supposed. Either way, ice spear is
the only other build on the cryo cannon. Like it's the only one that's like just freeze it.
Different and worth using.
It makes driller viable. And it's an option for cryo for dreadnoughts for high single target damage. So that it's that, and also you could just not use it, and that because that extended repressurized delay, we can all agree that's just nothing.
It doesn't really compromise the cryo cannon normally. That's the thing. It's literally the trade-off of using ice spear and using up that ammo.
You now have the option to do insane damage if you want, with pretty much no negatives.
It's just it's not the easiest thing to make worth using all the time. It's just like it sounds really great, but it's probably just a free. In practice,
I think because I like it a lot.
I like it a lot.
But I just think having that damage is more valuable for driller.
It's not the cryo cannon's number one goal either.
And as it doesn't negate freeze either, you can then freeze things and then you ice spear them and just you wreck them.
I know, but it's like your teammates are probably gonna have ways to kill frozen enemies real quickly, and they're more likely to just appreciate you just being able to freeze everything and not wasting ammo on not freezing things. So I'm pretty confident in free. Tyler, do you have a rating?
Yeah, you got a good point there. You don't always need that damage if your team is like competent, which most of the time
if you don't
they
have
are.
a team?
Well, there's still ways to do it, which is secondary as well. Axes or the EPC mainly. Kind of.
You get more from ice spear than you do temperature shocking.
Yeah, you do. You definitely do. Yeah.
God, that's the case. If that wasn't the case, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
No. Either way, so what? Hold on. Did you actually say a number?
Probably I don't know, 3, 4. It's a competitor to using the cryo cannon, but not in the normal way. But I don't think it's inherently preferable.
Yeah, I think 3 is actually perfect for it.
The only reason I don't want to put it in 3 is because you can still run other builds with it attached, and just have it in the pocket if you need it.
I know it seems weird, but
you can still use other builds, and then you just have it if you need to. Because let's be honest, the ammo consumption, unless you're using it non-stop, not really that much of an issue. Because ammo. If you want to run ammo efficiency, don't use it, of course. But often ammo isn't a problem, because pretty much most of the time when we finish missions, I've taken this into consideration in a lot of my builds now, is we always finish with like 300 fucking nitra or some bullshit like that.
It can be a problem if you're using ice spear, though.
Ammo efficiency?
It's also especially whatever. Look, I think we're happy enough with the 3.
The thing is, I think cryo cannon as a weapon is allowed to be an ammo guzzler, because realistically, it is saving everybody else's ammo a shit ton.
And
right?
But when you use ice spear, you're not doing that. You're doing the opposite.
If you're giga fucking freezing everything, you're probably one of the few things that like characters warranted to take like 3 of the 4 resupplies, right? Because everyone else shouldn't need any, really, because of how much ammo they've saved. Like I don't know,
so many other options as well for damage. Like he's got his drills and he's got his fucking satchels. Yeah. He's got more means of doing damage than any of the other characters.
But I think that's
so like you can then just also be more careful with using your cryo ammo in general. Like often if I'm using Ice Spear, I'll then just make sure to try and drill more enemies. Just so that I have more tank capacity. Because you can just then be more ammo efficient with Driller just by just deciding to be.
Yeah, but inherently having Ice Spear, you are being less ammo.
By using it.
I don't think that's much of an issue.
Only if you actually use the Ice Spears.
And that you don't... there's always Nitra, pretty much. As long as you're not playing like shit, you know? And also if you're using it carefully.
Right, it's...
And you can still freeze. You can still use all your other builds with the Ice Spear.
It's more difficult to justify. It's more difficult to justify actually using the Ice Spears than it is to justify taking the overclock. It's very easy to justify taking the overclock, but then you would sort of enter the conundrum of when you actually use Ice Spears and if they're worth using, which isn't most of the time, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But
which
God,
then means that it's not that much of an issue, is it? So.
I just don't think I think what it provides doesn't inherently make it an optimal pick, even if it's very easy to take.
I'll go with 3 just because it's not like I do think it could really be a 3 just because it's not like it's a constant thing that's always there, always being a positive like a lot of the overclocks are. It is just that it's there if you need it type thing.
Like it's like
it can't always be. It's not the primary focus of the weapon either, is it? Because you still use it as a normal cryo. You then just have the opportunity for it.
Yeah.
It's just it's just an added bonus that doesn't fucking completely radicalize your play style or the cryo cannon or anything really.
Radicalize. All right. Well, probably move on from Ice Spear.
Yep, it's acceptable.
Onto our everyone's favourite cryo cannon overclock. Snowball. No, Ice Storm. Ice Storm. Right. Hold on. What was it actually? ×2 deal bonus equal. Okay, double. Okay, great. Okay, great. I don't fucking care. Ice Storm sucks so much dick. Jesus Christ. Good.
Underrated.
What?
I mean, I do want to try using that build of increasing freezing power while using Ice Storm to see actually how good that damage bonus is against frozen targets. Because you could probably end up boosting your freezing power to probably like 8.
Oh, I can tell you.
And then with Cold Radiance, you could
7. But obviously you can have Cold Radiance.
Boost it with 7 and then Cold Radiance. And you can run Cryo at 8, which I think Tyler's using at 8, and it still freezes well. So therefore, if you could freeze them well, and then see the bonus that the Ice Storm does, which we haven't done because no one ever has done that.
No one's ever frozen anything
with
Ice Storm.
Yeah, because no one's ever frozen anything with Ice Storm before. But if that's a thing, then it might be a build.
It might be a 2.
It might be a 2. Yeah, there might be one viable build with Ice Storm. If not, if it doesn't work, then there is literally not a single build in which Ice Storm is good or even usable.
It's definitely not like, see, I take it on eliminations. Oh, do you? Good for you. I use Ice Spear.
Ice Spear then.
Ice Spear or just freezing for your teammates. That's elimination.
Honestly, yeah, that's the thing. Honestly, even on eliminations, just going all into freezing still kind of works.
Yeah, because then you can just freeze them for a second, obviously interrupt them, then your teammates can get a shit ton of damage out, or just use Ice Spear for weak point. Like there are 2 options that are kind of suboptimal, really, for the Dreadnought, but still better than Ice Storm.
So, Tyler, do you agree with us on the number?
Well, 1.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we're gonna get shit for it though.
Good. Really? Wait, really? You think that?
I don't believe that there's Ice Storm advocates.
Do they? We'll see. 1. But Snowball. But Snowball. Snowball exists. And I don't know. I don't know what to say about Snowball. I really don't.
It fails at what it tries to do.
Does it though? Does it fail at what it tries to do? Or is it just that what it tries to do is not a good idea?
Trying to do like flash freezing in a burst, right? Except that it takes too long to charge, so it's probably not really going to occur when you want it to. Its AoE isn't exactly the best. I still harken back to the other day when I shot a snowball into 2 grundles that were literally inside each other. The one I hit froze. The one that was inside the one I hit didn't, and that did something. That was like, oh, so it's not even reliable. So fuck that. Like, it's just not not the best at what it tries to do. And I think putting it in 2 will only do it.
Because the reason why I don't think it did that is probably because you hit it on like one side of the Brundle, and then the Brundle's body prevented the area of effect hitting the other Brundle.
I don't think that's a thing though.
It came very close to freezing the other one, but it just didn't. And obviously, I would have then wanted to finish it off, but you can't. Right? You can't shoot your cryo cannon after it. Does it? So I don't know. It's
just like a.
You lose 100 ammo, right? Like,
Yeah.
You know, like the ice spear, you can essentially use the cryo cannon as you were, but you can't. If you try to use the cryo cannon as it is with Snowball, it's worse because you lose 100 ammo.
Snowball is like our ideal version of it, just like spread out and made worse, right? Because we suggest like it should just be you just switch. We suggest that you should just go to switch to an alternate firing mode where you charge up, right? And then you can have the snowball be as strong as you need it to be, but there will be an extra ammo penalty anyway. That's basically what it is with the 100 ammo penalty built into it. It's just worse than our ideal version of it.
I think Snowball deserves a low rating, if anything, because it deserves a buff, right? Like there's no kidding. They could probably double all of its stats, and it would still probably not be used.
Well, that's not inherently what you need from it.
It's just with its it just it needs reworking, not like just buffing stat wise. They need to make it work every single time and work better. If it was like a spherical radius around the impact zone that was like guaranteed to freeze.
Well, it's just I don't know. It's just it doesn't not right. It needs help.
Guaranteeing it to freeze would make it better, I think.
Yeah, but it's still not.
And I don't think it'd make it broken either.
Even if it was a guaranteed freeze within the 4-meter radius, which it should be, it's not. It still wouldn't be that good because of how hard it fucking is your ammo. Like, I don't know. It just turn the gun into a snowball machine and then lance it from there. It only shoot snowballs. Oh,
go downstairs and see.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like, what was the other one? 1, right?
Yeah.
This one's probably. No, I'd say 1. I think it's just as viable as Ice Storm in the not at all.
Seems really harsh, doesn't it?
Hello.
It's because it is.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to freeze things, use any of those other options. By that, I mean cooler.
Okay, so we could give it a 1. And then I guess I would have to say under the just to make one thing clear though, Ice Storm kind of shouldn't exist, but Snowball should be better. And sometimes I feel like we have done this before. We have given things to 1s when we just want them to be better, more than a 2 would suggest, right? A 2 suggests it can potentially be left as it is, you know? Yeah. But Snowball really does deserve to be good. So, and 1 sort of illustrates that better. Not that this is like not it's like a spreadsheet we're gonna hand to Ghost Ship and they're gonna be like, okay, what have they put as ones? Let's work on that now. Let's work on but
how many 2s and 1s we put there?
For the Cry Cannon. Okay, 2s we got oh god, we got 5 2s, 7 2s, 7 2s, 3 1s.
Any 5s?
Yeah.
It's the 1 ammo, right?
Yeah, and Cold Radiance.
Yeah.
Yeah, damn Cry Cannon, you suck. You can't suck, bro. Right, I guess that's the Cry Cannon though. Over and done with. I can't see the Sludge Pump not being quicker than that. I can't. Seriously. But yeah, that's it. The Sludge Pump. Here he is. As in, there it is. There's also a bit less. I think that, yeah, there's technically less. It's actually at least only because they got rid of something. Tier 1, magazine size, projectile velocity, puddle height. Puddle height. Oh, it increases puddle height.
That's just decorative.
I think it is actually a thing. No. The close, well, yeah, it's to make it look bigger, but I think it does work. Like, as in, it could work on Mactera if they're close enough. Or it might actually make the difference.
I mean, I think the final third one there is a 4.
What?
Puddle one.
No. Oh shit! This isn't going to be quick, is it? The only one I thought would be a 4 is velocity.
Yeah, it's like a 3 at best. Need it. It's nice, but it's not a go-to.
Okay. Hold on. Is that correct? Still, yeah, it's not. Okay, so the text on that isn't correct, but the actual stats it updates is correct. They changed it. It used to be 25. Anyway, it's better. Is it better? I don't think it's actually worse than it used to be. Oh well, yeah, it's still good. Capacity's still good. That's amazing, and I guess that is great too. Yeah, one Sludge Pump.
How much do you know about the first tier, Tom? Not a lot. Clearly, not a lot. That's the answer.
Mag size is really good.
All right, we've all got completely different opinions.
Actually, mag size is good, but it's also kind of a downside, to be honest. In that you can be ammo efficient by having a low mag size, because then you can get your ammo down to like 1 ammo, and then you can charge shot and only consume 1 ammo for a charge shot.
You get more of those cheese shots.
Yeah, and so you can do that more with lower mag capacity. And as long as your reload speed is fine, or like you're good at keeping distance and everything, and you can time it, it's a bit more skilled, but then you can be more ammo efficient, which is a big positive.
Okay.
The projectile velocity is kind of all right. I think it depends on what build
I think
you're
it's
using.
very good. I think it's very, very good.
Weird. You. It's like, yeah.
Puddle radius is obviously always good, isn't it? If you're using that type of build where you want puddle radius, you're using puddles for fragments and stuff.
Puddles will always exist.
Yeah, but it's not always a benefit just because they're bigger, right? You know, you don't need them to be bigger to catch the same amount of grunts in the puddles necessarily.
And you don't need projectile, especially if you're used to not having it. Like,
it's way more useful. It's way more useful.
Velocity is literally just a easy thing. It doesn't actually make it any better.
It makes it way better. I can't stand this. I can't stand
it. Makes it easier.
It's not even like enough either. Like it's not as floppy, but it's also not like hit scan either, so you're just in the middle.
Making it
now.
easier doesn't inherently make it better.
The range, it's the point, it's the range thing, and that's the Sludge Pump's main advantage over the other two primaries, pretty much. It's the range.
Yeah, and it already has that. I agree, it's fine, but it's not a go-to pick. It's not the best thing you need.
It's my go-to pick.
Yeah, and the puddle's mine, and I don't know. What
okay, so what is that then?
On the moment, because I'm using the shotgun one, I'm using high capacity tanks because then I can really just fucking let out an absolute.
Yeah, and that's also good anyway.
Generally speaking, it sounds like a 3-3-3.
I think it probably just should be that.
But with the shotgun, you would never want to pick the projectile.
Yeah, but Sludge Blast sucks, so shut up. All right, 3-3-3.
Suck.
Shut up. Just a wrong opinion you keep whipping
good.
out.
It's good, and it's very fun.
Fucking sucks. It's so bad. It's so bad. It
is not.
It's so bad.
It's not. And but you think that is an embarrassment for you, who claims to know the Sludge Blast?
Oh god, I feel so bad for people who use Sludge Blast.
They're having a good time doing better than you, who uses fucking projectiles all the time.
Oh god.
Tier 2.
Tier 2. Okay, so we got charge shot damage. We got increased charge shot fragments, which is and increased area shot. Oh, increased normal shot damage. Whew. Damn.
Probably like what? I mean, I would go 3-4-3, but it could just be 3-3-3 because build dependent.
Yeah, I think it might be because obviously fragments doesn't inherently increase the amount of damage, right? Because there might be multiple fragments that hit the same enemy, you know. But increased charge or area damage, everything that gets hit is going to take more damage. And then normal shot is basically literally any build that doesn't rely on charge shots, which is more than one. So I think they're actually all quite very good and very reasonable for different reasons as well.
I've actually thought about this, but for Sludge Blast, right?
They're exactly the same.
Multiplier.
I think if you're thinking about which mod to take, both of these are exactly the same for Sludge Blast.
He's talking about does the shot use area or
there's fragments or damage.
Fragments.
Fragment damage or damage. Well, then why is there a damage stat?
If that's for normal shots.
Damage.
Charged fragment damage is a stat.
Well, it might not be. I don't.
It says it right there.
Yeah, on Carl it does.
Yeah, so that means if anything, it verifies it more.
Yeah, it's a thing. Yeah. Hold on. So if you take Sludge Blast,
I have the first one. I think it's that, but it could be the second one.
Well, the second one would give you more fragments that you shoot out the gun, like more pellets out of a shotgun.
Yeah.
That's what that would do. I think the area might add more damage to it, go on a charged shot. I think because it does still use like charged shot damage, like divided maybe, some shit like that. Sure.
A little bit
better
confusing.
It probably says it there.
Just read first or third, because they're actually all up for debate, really, aren't they?
Fragments use the charge shot's area damage instead.
Yeah.
The first one. So the last one's pretty much pointless then.
Yeah, for Sludge Blast, yeah. Yeah. It's like you're either debating between these two, or you're just using this because you're not focusing on charge shot builds.
The first or second one? Do you think it'd be more like you? Do you think it'd be doing more damage?
Would you prefer each fragment to do more damage, or would you prefer to have more fragments? It's like pellets or damage out of a shotgun.
Yeah,
that's on you. That's for you to decide.
If you were to hit all of the pellets, which one would do more damage?
That was math I don't think we should do right now.
That's what I was saying about.
Actually, no. Maybe it's better put this way. It's actually more fragments is better if you're focusing on puddles. Actually, specifically, that's why it's so good for disperser compound, right?
Now, so we got 8 times 16 is 128, and then actually no, it's not that. it's.
Hey, look, man. I do think it's another equal tier.
Times.
To be honest.
Yeah. 333.
I like we both would just not bother with this nonsense.
24
Someone's doing this math and we can't stop it.
It's exactly the same.
They did the math. They do that sometimes. So yeah,
exactly the same. So then that means that the fragment count would be better.
Yes and no. It means
then you leave more fragments.
Yeah, but it also means that you might miss some fragments when you're hitting one target. So if you want to have a more reliable against a single big target, you would pick the damage. But for against more enemies or more puddles, you would pick the fragments. Which
the area of effect changes, though, does it?
I think the fragments is probably the better of the three, Harry, because I think it comes up in a lot more builds. Like clearly, just kind of talk about now, Sludge Blast, you would use fragments. The one that I love, I'd use fragments. But I still think 333. I think they're all strong. It's just I think that comes up more.
Yeah, I mean, because I would have said it's actually, in my opinion, the least commonly good pick one, to be honest, in my opinion. So I feel like we should probably just go with 333.
Pretty impressive.
What?
You would think the fragments is the least picked and worst one.
No, not worst. Just it has the least cases where it's the best idea. Personally.
Really fun.
No, it's just dispersed compound where it's objectively the best. So, oh shit, Google My Special, but that's Google My Special, doesn't count. Tier 3. Tier 3 is this awesome little fella, which increases duration of both the damage over time and the sludge puddles by 50%, or you can get plus 40 max ammo. I know ammo is probably the most picked one, and that's absolutely fair. And this is still very much worth using, but I can't deny it. So I would immediately just say my ratings, which are 3 and 4.
Yeah, probably. I mean, how much more ammo did you get? I mean,
it's plus 40.
It's kind of fucking with the stats.
Shit, you're right. It's also like you see only ammo mod as well. Like, I mean, obviously you can consider that because it's still plus 20 ammo, which is actually.
I was gonna say the high capacity tanks in the thing.
It's still plus 20. It's not insignificant, I know, but it's like
yeah. Considering that the mod for ammo is only 40.
Plus, if you were to take that ammo, the clip size increase, that mod will give you another clip essentially. How much it gives you.
Yeah, but also that's the thing. You can actually still get a decent amount of ammo, plus this much more powerful damage over time. If you take magazine size,
you would get a lot more out of the ammo than that status effect thing could ever really give you. The duration increase.
If you can work with it, you can actually get a lot more total damage out. It's a really different play style, and you're much less flexible by taking this. That's the thing. But it's still very much so strong enough to be worth using. It's just the ammo's a lot better. That's why I'd want to put 3 and 4, because I don't know if there are really any 2s in the mods, to be honest.
Yeah.
I still think it's absolutely worth using. It's just not the optimal pick. So even if ammo's picked like 90% or even more, that other one can still be a 3. I think. It's just because the ammo's like really good. And understandably picked more often.
Ammo is easier, right? It's just easily good.
Yeah. Tier 4 is a kind of interesting. It's both to do with charge shots. So we've got one that reduces the cost, the one that reduces charge time. I'm surprised at how much more I like charge time, despite how much I obsess over efficiency, right? Because, you just, especially if you take ammo, because you have so much ammo, where charge time feels a lot better to me in most scenarios, because I can just get them out quicker. But both are very valid because the amount of efficiency this can bring is quite significant. If
you pick ammo and clip size, you are dripping with sludge, right? You have no need to conserve essentially. It's pretty nice. But yeah, no. Considering it is fighting with technically not ammo, but like efficiency, like literally ammo efficiency. Like it is a mod that is actually directly against ammo efficiency, like versus.
Yeah,
and it's not losing. It's pretty impressive.
It is very impressive.
Although, I do think Charge Shot 4 is kind of preferable. You do get another shot, essentially, in a clip.
Yeah, but it's a Sludge Pump. You're probably not ever going to need that ammo efficiency. You're probably not going to run out anyway.
Yeah, I guess. But, like, only if you get caught out do you really need more charge time. Like, you don't really need charge time either.
I think you can need it more. I feel like you don't need this. It's just more, on average, like kind of a better idea. You absolutely can need it. You
absolutely can need the ammo. Like, no, I think both are equally could do without. Like either way, like get used to the charge time, and you can just be more efficient, or just be less efficient, and it's more convenient.
But there are situations where it doesn't matter if you're used to it. You're still going to benefit from it being quicker. It doesn't matter if you're used to the slower charge time. There's still situations where it's more useful to have a quicker charge speed. Dangerous situations is what I mean. Not that a single charge shot is necessarily going to save you. It probably won't. It's just the ability to fire a lot more and like prevent bad situations. Well, if there's like enemies coming from like all around and you don't really have the time to cover all that ground, you can if you have increased charge time. It's just I think
you just use normal shots, right? You just gun down the close ones.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really look. I think they're equal. Sorry.
Right.
All right.
But I think probably 3-3.
But we just have preferences, so you know that's fine. I mean, Tom hasn't said anything, but just keep it that way.
Assume Kim's talking.
Ugh, gross. Tier 5. Protein or acid. Increases slowdown of both the actual direct hits, like the status effect, and how much the puddles slow down enemies. Or we can just increase the damage. Both are good.
Yeah. Somehow, once again, damage versus not damage. The not damage is fighting.
Yeah, but I feel like, Tyler, the pipeline to see that slowdown does equal more damage is pretty easy with the Sludge Pump. You can see how that equals more damage pretty easily. Because it does, if you're using puddles. It equals more damage done by your puddles. So it's pretty easy to understand. And it feels kind of weird, this number of 3s, but I just don't... It's not incorrect. Let's not be silly.
Where's your now?
Tier 5. I don't know if you have any specific thoughts on Tier 4, if one's like much better than the other or something.
Doesn't know.
Play style is, I guess.
Yeah.
Because if you... I mean, like, I use charge cost because Sludge Blast.
You do be using a lot of ammo.
Not that. I mean, fucking charge times, and I can just fucking pump out one after really quickly.
Well, I think either way is viable,
fucking
right?
one.
Either way is nice. You get more charge shots because I sludge pump, or you charge them quicker.
Yeah, I mean the positive of the charge cost as well, is that it also means you get more shots in a clip, so you don't have to reload as often. So there's like if you obviously like I'm gonna sprint behind like a Praetorian or whatever, and then just pump him full of fucking sludge blasts, and you're gonna blow up. But if you're then like sitting back more and then using like how you kind of actually supposed to use the sludge pump, where you use puddles and everything, and you're trying to crowd control, I think charge cost would probably be better. As long as like you're keeping everything under control, it's just obviously better for ammo efficiency. But
well, we have already decided on the rating, so
both good.
Yeah, okay.
I'd say probably both 4s.
Both 4s. Wait, are we allowed to do that?
They're not both strong.
No, they're not really. Are they?
Break, hold up the gun in either regard.
Well, I mean,
charge speed really does help.
You could pick neither of them and not be up Shit's Creek, right? Like, you would not.
The 60% really makes a big difference.
Tyler, I honestly think you actually might just. I think I disagree with that. I think these are the two most significant, almost
make a big effect. So projectile costs not only being more ammo efficient, but what is actually going to make an immediate effect is now you have 5 shots in a standard mag.
But what I'm saying is, if we gave them both 4s, that would just be a gratuitous thing. It's like, oh, look at this tier where we have 2 4s. It's like, what's the point of that? We don't need to. We could just leave it as free.
We didn't do anything like that earlier. Where we just
no. But that was funny.
Next one, because I just summarized. I said.
Well, tier 5 seems like we're going to give 3 and 3 again anyway.
3 and 3.
Yeah.
Slow down, be damage.
Yeah.
But it explains how like slowdown's just good anyway in the constant sludge pump, and it's also you can see how slowdown equals more damage quite easily with the sludge pump.
Yeah.
You know, so both are good.
Yeah. I don't know which would actually be better, because obviously, like, is the damage exactly the same like as it has been before? Like, is the damage that they're going to be in that puddle for? Because they're going to be in the puddle for longer, but they're going to be taking less damage. But is that going to be equal to them taking more damage over a shorter period of time?
I don't know, bro.
Is the overall total damage they take going to be equal or more for one? Don't know. So I just did more damage instead of time.
Oh no, it keeps me up at night. But I would say I do probably use the slowdown less often. So, I don't think it's going to change anything, though.
I think it's just I think it is probably just better for the corrosion, the more damage, to be honest, because then it means once you have hit them, and then
it's like the ammo again.
They're going to do more.
Easier, damage, not inherently more.
Yeah.
I
mean, maybe if it was in there for longer, it'd be better, but it's it's way easier. And once they're hit, now they're going to take damage instead of. Now, if they do go in there, then they're going to stay in there for longer.
That's not just what it is.
When they're affected by the thing, they get slowed, don't they?
Yeah, like both of them is basically the strengths of both parts.
Which actually, I guess then, yeah, because I mean, I didn't fully acknowledge that, but yeah, on larger targets, which you're not actually going to be killing, having the slowdown is going to be more of a positive, isn't it? Because the damage isn't going to be that important, but the slowdown is. Then when you're against, like, I don't know, Dreadnought, whatever.
Yeah, slowdown's better against larger targets. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So 3 and 3.
Yeah.
Like, this is not surprising us how fucking immaculately balanced the corrosive sludge pump is.
Yeah,
like,
it's got everything.
All of them have been 3s an option 1. And it's a 4.
Yeah, 4 even then. And okay, we'll see the overclocks. I mean, don't worry, I'm not gonna be as offensive as I was, before we even got to the overclocks. I know I'm not gonna do that. Not that bad. All right. Anyway, yeah, the overclocks. Cleans. We've got hydrogen ion additive, which increases the DPS and slowdown of the normal shots. Or of the actual damage over time effect. So not the puddles, though.
In the area. In the person. In the glyph.
Yeah, the status effect. It's really good. Hydrogen ion additive is an amazing clean. And you can just sort of do whatever you want with it. It doesn't go hard into charge shots, though, but it does definitely allow for more interesting single shot builds. But it's just no downsides, and it's just really strong. It's kind of weird. The problem is, I don't know how we're gonna I don't know how to start, but I don't know what the first rating should look like, because I just don't know if it's like much better than something like the Disperser compound.
I think
it's probably not. Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
No, it's like literally like you can do anything other than puddles with that build, right? It's like for a clean, it's like it will just help everything as long as you aren't aiming to make puddles better. That's its point, right? That's it, and that's fucking good, especially for a clean. It's really good for a clean.
Yeah, and it's like you can go for you can go for normal shots, you can go for charge shots. Yeah. In tier 5, it allows both to be better. You can go for either.
You can go fragments, just not puddles.
Yeah, tier 3 is great for this actually, because you get a lot more use out of this. Like it really makes this more efficient. Like the breakpoints you can hit, but obviously just more and more is better.
And 5, you can either double down or slow and do more.
Well, both are doubling down. This increases the slowdown and the DPS.
Oh yeah, both are. Yeah, I guess.
Exactly. So you can double down either way. Yeah, that's why I'm tempted by 4. I just feel like we might need to get through all of them first or something. I don't know, because we have something like it's the thing we have exactly, because we have something like AG mixture, right, which increases projectile velocity and decreases like fall off and whatnot. It's just, and that's a
I'm saying that hydrogen ionides might actually be really fucking good, because what you could do is then if you added the slowdown effect and had that on, then you're doubling down on that, which then makes it really good at slowing down like large targets, which would be perfect. Like you just then hit it with just one shot, and then it's slow as shit.
Well, this is why I think it might be a 4. Anywhere. This is why I think it might be a 4, because AG mixture at least is still a 3, right? But it's like, you know, it's kind of like wrong with you.
It is projectiles falling slowly is very good.
Well, I think we talked about this before, right? We have talked about it before, but maybe not on the recording. Maybe, well, I mean that's just wrong, but not on recording. But like it's like pretty much everything is a 3 because the sludge pump is like you don't need it to be better. So AG mixture is
for a clean to not be a 3.
And this is not one of the ones. This is not one of the ones that's not a 3. This is not one of the ones that goes below.
I can't really think. There's probably only a few cleans that aren't 3s.
You become a lot stronger in open spaces. It's like really nice, and it feels better to use just in general as well. If you don't feel like you need the sludge pump to actually be stronger.
Yeah.
So it's still 3.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think the 3 is acceptable, but probably a low 3. It's just the other clean does need that out.
I think it's a 4 because I didn't quite see. Yeah, hear you, Tyler.
It's a clean. The positives are
cool.
Clear, and there are obviously no negatives because it's clean.
Yeah. All 3. The balanced ones. We got volatile impact mixture, which increases the damage of charged shots and single shots, but has quite significant penalties to the duration of the status effect and the puddles. Weirdly good, though. You know, it's
just like turn it into a normal weapon essentially.
It's kind of just turn it into a grenade launcher.
Yeah. It's literally just your normal shots do more damage, or your charged shots do more damage, or both at the same time. But you would normally spec into one of them because of tier 2.
It's literally I see it so you can just like kill grunt hordes without having to wait at all. Like you can just slap them in the face and they're just all dead. Same with Mectera, and it allows for some pretty interesting single target combined with blistering necrosis, but that might not factor into it. But this is one of the ones where I really wouldn't know how to rate it.
It's a 3. Like I think it's strong, but I don't think it's by any means the best thing on the sludge pump.
It's a overclock, so it has to be in the slap bang middle because it's got good positives, good negatives. It's a decent play style that works.
Well, it's also because if you wanted an example in this video, it's an example of the ones where it's like use it like this, not like this, right? More direct damage, but you lose corrosion and puddles. It's like clearly gives and takes.
It's like it is really if you want to do things quickly, right? Because if you take this, and I think even if you do take increased like regular shot damage, I don't think you can actually one-shot grunts still, unfortunately, because of how much it nerfs the actual damage over time effect, right? Which I think is actually pretty bad. I do have a problem with it because of what it does to the grunt breakpoints. But it means you can, like, for example, much more quickly just kill things. Literally. It's just the instantaneousness. You can, like, just pump out 2 or 3 shots and kill any given smaller enemy, like an acid spitter or a trijaw. You can put them down much quicker than you would any other way. Even if it's actually a bit less ammo efficient overall. But charge shots become, you know, they still retain their efficiency. They just kill things a lot quicker as well. So, yeah, I think it's got noticeable downsides, but it's got the upsides as well.
I think it's a 3. Solid, slightly low 3.
Yeah. All right. The cum zone.
I love the cum zone.
We love dispersive compound around here. We dispersive compound fans around here. +6 fragments, +4 fragment damage, but -20 charge or area damage. Oh well, just shit ton more fragments. Fire it at the ceiling is what you're supposed to do, apparently.
I really
but it works.
Think that they thought they like that, but that's just how I read it. I was like, oh, so you're not really supposed to hit them with the charge shots. So I guess I'll just shoot the ceiling and have the fragments rain from the sky on all the enemies and the floor and that.
Yeah, it's not the kind of thing that you shoot. You don't shoot it into the center of a horde, at least, like you do with volatile impact mixture. You shoot it either at the first thing in the horde, so it lays the puddle in front of them, or you shoot it at an enemy in the air, or if you're in a tunnel, you shoot it at the ceiling.
Yeah, if there's a fucking goo bomber above a horde, that poor sod, he is getting charge shot upon charge shot hitting him. Yeah, and that won't do much damage to him, but it's gonna just tear pieces of everything below. I honestly, it's definitely my favorite thing on the Sludge Pump. I still don't think it's broken by any means. It's clearly, fairly balanced. I think it might give more than it takes. Like,
I think it does give more than it takes. I think it definitely does, and I think especially when you consider the what you can do with it through other means, which you don't even have to. You don't need the EPC to make this fantastic, but you can still do that, and that's when you get the single target from as well. Because you just lay down these massive, dense pools and you set them on fire. That's how you get the single target, though.
Massive pools of I don't know. It's just I love creating gigafuck areas of pools of it.
Because I think it changes up the playstyle much less than something like Volatile Impact Mixture does, and it has much clearer direct strength benefits than AG Mixture. I think it's also a 4. I think it's pretty equal to Hydrogen Iron because they're kind of opposites. We talked, how this is like everything except puddles, and then
puddles,
yeah,
or fragments really, because it does actually kind of not just puddles. It's more
increasing fragments is good. Yeah,
it's more that you're supposed to hit them with the fragments, but also the additional benefit of puddles. But I think there is one that is pure puddles. That is Goo Bomber Special.
Goo Bomber Special,
which I guess it does actually add area damage to the fragments, or the fragment damage, which is that the same amount as the other one, the left one?
Yeah.
What's its name? All right, so they got the same kind of damage buff to the fragment.
But Goomba Special is actually on paper some really good benefits, but its downside is just the way just how it works basically, which isn't even inherently a downside. It's just different, but it's very different. Really, right? Because you look at it, it's like it is all about the the duration. It's the only thing that increases puddle duration. Actually, only Overclock that increases puddle duration. So that's part of it. I mean, it goes up a lot. So hold on, is this puddle duration too? Yeah. So that goes.
Even any other overclocks that this radically changed the gun.
What you could consider Sludge Blast similar. That goes up to 18 seconds with the modification, and you go up to 24 with Goo Bomber Special.
With Goo Bomber Special, if you're in a ideal situation, you are God. You are genuinely, you just take the nice open room in goo, cover the entire floor in it, and you could just exist there for like an entire swarm and just be done.
But it's so weird that I can't just call it like a free upgrade.
Lifespan is just so long.
Yeah, but no,
it balances
if you
itself
are not
out.
In an ideal situation, it gets a bit rough. Right? You're in tight, winding caves with constant corners. It's kind of unusable. As in, you would use normal shots in that situation because charge shots is not.
Shots couldn't deal with a bit of stuff, but you would have to be basically like, "Oh shit, I'm in a tunnel." Yeah. What do you then figure something out?
You would use the normal shots to make puddles.
Do you think you could use Goo Bomber in a bunker?
If you can.
Kind of no. Yeah, and no though.
Yeah.
You would have to shoot it before the enemies get there, right? Like, when it's a clear tunnel, you shoot it through the tunnel, it cakes the bottom of the tunnel in like thing, and then you probably EPC.
I have a pretty big problem with it just eliminating all the potential fragments once it hits something. I think you should just drop them all in like where it lands.
I'm not sure how good or bad this is, but it does mention that the damage is there. It's in the ball. Like I'm not sure if the charge shot damage is like good, like if that's like a point of it or not. Because it loses damage as it drops fragments, which makes you think that like the main projectile is like a giga strong thing which like fades. It doesn't seem to imply that. at all. So I don't know. It's a very weird and awkward one, and is exactly the ideal of what the cryo cannon and flamethrower should be looking towards doing to their guns. A complete radical change of the weapon, and not inherently a downgrade either, or an upgrade. Say, I think Good Bomber Special is a 3. Like in its situations, it's fucking immaculate. It's beautiful. It's unstoppable. In its other situations,
Real good example of an unstable overclock.
Yeah,
not bad.
Shit's unstable as hell.
Yeah, I mean,
that's what a lot of the unstables should be. It's like they are potentially absolutely insane, like Google Special is, but then they also have the downside of potentially being your worst fucking nightmare.
Well, I don't think it's inherently the perfect unstable. It's like, I don't think it being situational is.
I'm not saying it's
unstable.
the perfect one. I'm saying it's a perfect example of an.
That's what that means, though. What?
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
Moving on from Harry's goofy stupidity, onto Harry's goofy stupidity.
Goofy stupidity. Goofy Sludge Blast. Yeah.
Sludge Blast is probably stronger. It's probably a 4, I would say. I said that sarcastically slightly, but I do genuinely think I've seen it. Like whenever I've used Sludge Blast, it's felt strong, very strong. It's an unstable. It changes the sludge pump to the point where it's kind of unrecognizable in how you would use it, but it works a lot. Good. I don't appreciate the ammo decrease though.
No, it doesn't deserve it.
That wasn't needed.
I thank God we can agree on that. Like, honestly, Sludge Blast, I actually would probably like it if it didn't have. I just don't see how it justifies the ammo penalty. It should be something else. You know, almost just how much it changes it is almost enough. Just like Google Bomber Special. I just don't see how it justifies the ammo.
Just the way that it's different, because it is like Google Bomber Special in that it does have a big negative just in the way it works.
Maybe increase charge time or something. I don't know. Ugh, God.
Poison the mod.
What?
But no,
increase. Just make it take longer to charge.
Just good as hell and nice. And it's like I don't know. I mean, maybe not a 4 realistically.
I really was going to fight it because I just don't. I did say some things about it, but I don't really see why you need it either. That's the thing. You might think it's good, but I don't see why you need it at all.
Is one of Driller's like you spout Ice Spear, but realistically the best and most reliable burst damage option for Driller's primaries is Sludge Blast.
Yeah, but we gave that free as well.
Right there.
So I'm not going to make it. I'm not going to put it lower than Ice Spear.
Obviously, and I'm not saying. I'm saying it's at least a 3. Like it is literally.
You kind of just proved his fucking point because he was saying like, oh yeah, it's basically like Ice Spear but better. And he said, yeah, Ice Spear's a 3. Yeah, meaning if it's Ice Spear but better, then it should be a 4.
Like, yeah, no, it's because Ice Spear is a pain in the arse to use. You have to freeze them and then shoot them. Sludge Blast, you just shoot them. You just shoot them. You just get behind them, release a load. I mean, Tom, do you instinctually know about as many shots as it would take to kill a Praetorian in the ass? Because I think it's around 2 to 3, right?
Yeah, I think it's about 2 to 3.
Yeah, and that's where the problem comes in for me with Sludge Blast.
Then when you use that charge bonus speed, you can then just do that instantly. You dash behind them, bang, bam, bam, and they're dead.
And for Driller, that is unheard of.
Driller does not kill things that quickly.
Yeah, but that's why I don't inherently value it, because it's just not really Driller's thing. Right, so I just don't find it inherently valuable.
You then also, it's not just that when you just like get behind it. You can also use it to just sort of like take out hordes and stuff.
No,
terrors.
No, it's not.
Because you can then just because it's a shotgun blast, it then just coats in an area right in front of you.
Like salvo module
in Sludge,
but it's not as much coverage as any other form of it.
So it has slightly less coverage, but then it also, well, not slightly, because if you're using the dispenser compound. Obviously, it's got less coverage than that.
Or if you just use increased velocity. It still has
the coverage. It still has the normal shot, and it then also has the extra option of charge shot, which is really fucking good. Like, it has a lot of options available, and it doesn't really take any of the options that it has in the first place away from you either.
Yeah, it's just the speed. That's all it's got on its side. You know, I can use disperser compound. I can use one charge shot and set it on fire with one EPC shot, and that's a Praetorian.
It's the fucking best thing.
That's a Praetorian dead. Or I can take hydrogen ion additive.
Really good.
I can take hydrogen ion additive plus what the hell? Supersaturation. What kind of fucking word is that? And I can two-shot a Praetorian with normal shots, or close to it, because I can just wait. It's just speed, and I don't. It's not that I don't. It's not useless. Being able to kill things quickly is good. But I don't. It's pretty hilariously inefficient compared to what else you can do with the sludge pump.
Really nice because of you can then use that charge shot and then your one shot slashers and guards.
Yeah, you could.
Just... Yeah, but I don't need to one shot slashers and guards with a charge shot when I can do that with not guards. But the slasher gets slowed down so much that it's not going to get to me, and it will die from the normal shot pretty much. If I'm using a normal shot build like hydrogen ion additive, so I'm just not too worried. It's not doing anything for me that I need. Basically, is what I'm saying. I don't need Sludge Blast, but I'm also not.
I need it, but you don't need any of them. It's just that it's a good option that is viable.
I need it much less than I need the sludge pump itself.
Is the best version of that kind of shit though, because obviously sludge pump is generally more into it, and I will explain what that shit is. Face melter and ice storm is, attempting on cryocannon and CRISPR, right? Like, where you just kill them, right? You don't fuck around, you don't damage over time, you don't do all that shit. You just fucking kill them, right? Sludge Blast is, I guess, the Sludge Blast version of that. And it is by far the best. It's just fuck around, find out, you're dead, moving on, right? Like, it's just that. And it's, perfectly good at that. And, I mean...
But I just don't need things to die quickly from the sludge pump. It's got such good crowd control. I don't need things to die instantly.
I think we should think about this a little bit. If we get Harry to shit on it and they see this video and buff it, that's just a net positive. So maybe we'll let him have this.
Let's give it a 1. Let's give it a 1.
Yeah.
No, I would love it to be better. I would love it.
It is better than you think it is.
I think it should get reworked because the less ammo is just so meaningless. Like, it doesn't need
have
that.
you noticed you running ammo?
Yes, I have.
No, you haven't, Tom. The person that's clearly actually used it properly, unlike the spewer over there.
You mean properly?
I have more because I do have to think about it a lot. Like, it should not have that minus 40 because it's just it doesn't need that at all. It's not like it's that broken that it needs less ammo. And it should have another debuff, or it might not even need another debuff.
I just don't think it's worth turning.
It's still in a decent place where it is.
I just don't think it's worth turning the sludge pump into that. I think the sludge pump doesn't need to be turned into that for any good reason. Doesn't mean it's weak. No, but
none of them need to be. Nothing needs to be anything. There can be overlap in build opportunities, and there's enough difference playstyle between the Sludge Blast and the other ones that are kind of similar, but for it to still be different.
Well, how many other weapons have as wide a variety as builds, or like not just even builds, just ways to use the gun as a sludge pump, right? Like the same weapon has Goo Bomber Special and Sludge Blast. The fuck else has that, right? And both of those are like radicals on not even the base gun.
Hold on. Unfortunately, Hurricane does definitely have that. Unfortunately.
Your salvo module.
Salvo module, mine laser system, and plasma bursting missiles, I think, equals a similar level of difference. Unfortunately, because I wish you were right, but the Hurricane does exist, and it does.
They're not that different.
No, you're just don't pretend. Come on, it's not. I don't think it's. I'm not happy about it, but the way it is, unfortunately. I mean, you do shoot the same way, don't you? No, it's salvo module. Salvo module is, yeah. Yeah. Well, no. Hold on. No. Goob Bomber Special and Mind Layer System are like the same, just like flip. Goob Bomber Special, you have to shoot in the air. Mind Layer System, you have to shoot at the ground. That's it. They're kind of a similar level of change, really, in terms of playstyle to the original thing. And then Sludge Blast and Savage Module are like the same. So I think it's the same, pretty much.
All right. By the way, it's free. Leave it alone. It will fucking work fine. It is in no way weak.
Oh, maybe we should try and not have any dead air. Yeah. Well, fine. You can have a free. I actually never proposed it. Get your free.
Your move. I don't know why you're saying that.
What? Who says I wasn't telling myself that? Who says I wasn't? I was never opposed to it getting a free anyway. It's perfectly fine. It's just I do think it is utter dog shit still. I do think it is.
And I think you're utter dog shit for thinking that.
Ugh. Doody blue. Anyway, there it all is. What a I mean, one of the main reasons I'm okay with that as well, because it proves the point. Look at this.
That is the ideal weapon.
It's all threes, and we got 3 4s, and the rest is threes. So it basically doesn't need to change, except the thing that you both admitted is that you wouldn't mind Sludge Blast being buffed. That's the thing.
I just noticed it. I didn't even know that it got rid of ammo until I saw it there, and I was like, "What's it?"
Well, I think it's the only thing on the real downsides. That's the thing. It's that ammo. I just don't think it justifies it. You know, I'd probably really like it if it didn't have that. But I mean, that's still debatable. What are you talking about?
Clearly, you have an issue beyond that ammo.
Yeah, I just think it's funny how much more efficient I can be without it. Just because you really can be. But, you know, it's like sort of arbitrary at a point. It's just like, great, I killed a Praetorian with 1 charge shot from Dispersive Compound, but that took a while. Or I killed it with 2 normal shots with hydrogen iron additive, but that took a real long time. And I also had to sacrifice ammo, the ammo mod, to be able to do that in the first place. So there are definitely good reasons to use Sludge Blaster. I'm not blind to that. Just hate it. Anyway, fucking hell. That was Driller's primary weapons dissected and turned into little strips of meat to be sold from the butchers. You can buy them from us, and we'll make you a sandwich out of Driller's. I don't want any of those to be eaten. It's not a good idea. Don't eat fire. Don't eat ice. Don't eat corrosive sludge. I mean, ice is, I guess, the safest one, but still, maybe not.
My brother almost died.
Alright, don't eat the ice ever. Someone died. Was it yellow? Was it?
No, he was choking on an ice cube. Where he was like foaming from the mouth, like probably a couple seconds.
That's so dumb. It's an ice cube. It just melt.
That's why he didn't die.
I know. You told me this before. I do remember. You told us everything.
Right.
Anyway, it's over.
See you next.
Oh God, you could be a bit more elaborate than that. If you enjoyed this, thank you. Bye.